So we're here real quick just to talk Land Cruise.
Yes, Land Cruise.
How have y'all not heard about this? I've seen some of y'all in BDM group like,
Some of y'all look
what is
shocked,
this?
like completely shocked that we they're what?
So let's go through, okay, because this is panning out to be a really cool event. It's strange. But it's unique and
Never been done.
Maybe the only event we do this year for obvious reasons, unless
not the only one
the
I'm doing.
vaccines happen faster.
I'm
than
going
we
to the
think.
Shannonburg Super Spreader here in a couple weeks.
Right.
And so basically, gates open at 6. Again, BDMs, they have you guys have first dibs on tickets.
Tickets on sale now?
Yeah, go.
I mean, they're going fast. I know
They
we've
are.
done. Hold on.
Let me see what's available.
Yeah.
So you can go to tomanddanlandcruise.com. There's a link right there to
And
go to.
where do we
Or
go,
Dr.
Sam?
Phillips' website.
Where do
Right.
we go, Sam, if we have questions? Who do we email?
You email Tony at tomanddan.com. That is the only place you should be asking questions.
You mean
We're trying to-
Tony
yeah.
at tomanddan.com.
Trying to streamline everything.
Yeah, we
Tony.
really are. So for all
Yeah.
questions, normally I know you guys can even lean on me. Not today. Too much going on. We're taking them all to Tony. Tony at tomanddan.com. He is ready on the phones, ready to go.
Yes. So basically, you go to the Dr. Phillips website, and they have this thing that they set up called Front Yard Festival, and they took the front
Copywritten too. They'll sue your ass.
of Dr. Phillips, and we did the tour. It's beautiful. Like they spare no expense building this thing.
And if
It's
you
a-
were concerned about safety, it's so safe that they check our temperature before we even do a tour.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
how
yeah,
safe
yeah,
it is. It's
yeah,
not like
yeah.
they don't just let you in here. You can't just wander through. No, you have to get a temperature check
Yeah.
before you even take
in the
a
middle
tour.
of the day
Yeah.
when no one's in there.
Right,
Yeah.
in the middle of the day. And then the guy made me take my hat off. Check,
Yeah.
I go stand to the side. You had a hat on, your head's hot.
So speaking of that, like you'll pick a pod, and we're telling people if people want to buy pods next to each other, it's probably better off if one person just buys the pods, because they're
Yeah.
going pretty fast.
When you purchase, you do have to purchase the full pod.
Correct.
I'm
be,
certain.
Be cool, bro. Rules
Well,
apply.
yes,
because
there's a minimum 2-seat pod situation. There's also a minimum 4-seat pod situation.
Yes,
So
and-
check which ones you're clicking on.
And you'll see, and basically how they've laid it out is obviously the whole middle is taken up by our cruisers that we're going to go on the Tom and Dan cruise. That's Tony already emailed all them, and that's already
I mean,
squared
if you're
away.
connecting the dots,
Yeah.
Land Cruise, our cruise can't. I mean, you're kind of
Yeah.
seeing the patterns here.
Yeah, we wanted to try to do something for all the cruisers that we had to cancel the cruise for, so we wanted to give them.
I feel like we canceled
middle.
it more than once.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's
We did.
at least
We did,
3
right?
times.
Like
Yeah,
it's. I
Twice.
think we canceled it. No, 3. I think we're up to 3 now because now it's like indefinitely. It was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
move it.
We
I
cancel
don't
it.
know.
So then Samantha's correct. There are certain pods, the better seat location pods. You have to buy basically all 4 seats or the whole pod.
But I'm
If you
not
could
going to
fit-
bullshit you. Sam and I and
4
Butler
people.
and Tom, I forgot your name.
Mm.
We walked this thing, and there's not a bad seat in the house because
Yeah.
they have these mega jumbotron screens. So I mean, you gotta understand
Yeah.
if you're there. I mean, look, if you're closer to my face during bingo, I don't think that adds to your night.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
They have a
Be
nice-
smart with what you're purchasing here because the setup is awesome.
Yeah, and I went to the last pod, and they're calling them boxes,
Yeah.
by the way. Dr. Phillips
Last
wanted the
pod. They
the
don't
last
like
box.
it when we say pod, but we're
it's
like,
a
hey, we're
box pod.
podcasters.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a pod.
And I went to and I sat down, and you could see the screen.
I know
and
why.
could see
You
it.
like that
Oh.
one because it's closest to the bar. We
Yeah,
call
yeah.
that the Tom Zone.
So, speaking of that, that every pod has a QR code inside the pod,
Mm-hmm.
and so if you want food and drinks, all you have to do is
And merch.
and
Yeah.
merch
And
too.
merch.
We're
It's-
working on all
It's
this.
a camera deal, guys. You don't need to get a QR code reader. Hey,
No,
Pop.
yeah.
Your camera does
It
this.
scans it, yes.
Yeah, it does it automatically. If you have a camera on your device, your Android, your iPhone, you're good to go. You're ready.
And so you scan the QR code, it brings up the menu. We're going to have a custom menu.
This will never happen again, by the way. That's why I'm billing it. Look, this is the copy for
Yeah.
Dan Stone. This is the first and last Tom and Dan Land Cruise. It'll never happen again.
So, yeah. So then you could order from there's 5 local area restaurants that have mini setups.
You can go to Dr. Phillips' website. They
Yeah.
have it all listed.
Yeah.
All kinds of great local
I
stuff.
mean, there is
I'm gonna get that Dub's
seafood,
Dread burger,
Yeah,
dude.
there's burgers. There's
I'm
Italian.
gonna get a big ass Dub's Dread burger.
I think toasted is
I'm
there.
gonna
Yeah,
eat
they
it.
are.
Oh, wait a minute. Grilled cheese. Let that fatty cheese slide down
Oh,
onto
yeah.
my edible while Cashed Out plays. It
Oh,
blows
my
head
God.
off.
And so you, and then obviously, like going back to when you get to the event, everybody gets temperature checked. Everybody has masks.
Again, be cool, bro. We're asking that when you guys are
Please
out of
follow
the
the
pod.
rules.
Yeah, when you're out of the pod, you keep your mask on.
yeah.
You guys have done this. You know how to do it.
And then you get to your pod, and then you can take your mask off.
3,
and
2,
you're-
1, mask off.
You're with your group of people that you bought the pod with, and then you can order food and drinks, and they just deliver it right to your pod.
After you've eaten, that's when we start fucking.
And then, and also you could order merch to your pod. It's all going to be listed on the menu. So this is how we're going to start off. Usually on cruises,
Oh, they're already throwing their numbers in the chat. They're high-fiving like it's rooms.
Oh,
What
yeah,
room
yeah.
are you in? What room are you in? This is pretty cool, man.
Yeah, and then the first hour, that's when you drink and eat as much as you can.
That's called the
Gorge yourself.
No,
Yeah.
but that's a special hour. That's called cocktail hour with Ravon.
Yes, and we got steel drum player. That's actually
Ravon.
the correct term is steel pan, right?
Yeah, steel pan drums.
Steel pan drums and Ravon, which I felt very embarrassed
you're gonna
because I
tell
called
the
him
story?
Raven
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I first
Oh my
contacted him
God.
because he's super popular in Sanford.
Then
and
when you hung up, you said, "That's so Ravon," and I was
yeah, because he's Jamaican and he doesn't pronounce his-
Jamaican me Raven.
like a cracker ass cracker like myself,
Oh.
and I say, "Excuse me, Raven, would you mind playing steel drums at our event?" Anyway, so he's going to be playing popular music on
Yeah.
steel drums. You can look him up
He
on
can do
YouTube.
it
It's
all.
ridiculous.
What do you want?
Yeah.
What do you want? You want Bob Marley and the Wailers? You want Kid Rock? He can do either.
So then after that first cocktail hour,
That's
when
just get in the
everybody's
lay
ready,
of the land, check it out, be respectful, check out the pod, see what's going on, get some sunshine. Oh, it's gonna be nice.
we start at 7. Show starts at 7, and we start with Tom and Dan Bingo.
We got to plan that.
Which we're working on.
No
it.
idea what to do. No, you just there's a paper bag in there that just says Tom and Dan Bingo written on it, and it says please put idea in.
Yeah,
And there's
idea
no
bag.
idea. Yeah, we have no ideas in there.
And by the way, I want to thank justcallmo.com, Mo DeWitt, the DeWitt Law Firm, for being the presenting sponsor of this event. Also, ABC Fine Wine and Spirits and Sports Subaru for being co-sponsors. And so in the bingo portion, everybody will have a bingo card. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, legally, I have to do it.
Everybody will have a bingo card in their gift bag. And so the gift bag, I want to thank, we got Bart Merrick, At Home Floor Store, American Air and Heat. We got Blanchard Insurance.
It's not done yet either, guys. We got other clients that are emailing Butler right
Yeah.
now to see if they can throw some stuff in the gift bag.
Villain Clothing. We're going to have a gift bag filled with gifts for you guys. And in that gift bag is going to be your bingo card. And you're going to play some Tom and Dan Bingo, hosted by us and the whole show. Also with help by professional cruise director Mark Walker, who actually has a bigger following than I do on Twitter.
Yeah.
Huge. Because like he's been doing it for so long, and he's such a pro.
He's got a
that-
blue check.
Yeah, everybody knows who he is. Anyway, he's going to be there to help us host the whole night, but we're going to do a huge prize
It's going
for
to
the
be
winner
like
of
a little bit different bingo. We actually do have a plan.
Yeah.
This bingo is going to be a little bit odd, but it's going to
Yeah.
be really fun.
and
interactive.
On the stage with us is going to be Joe from 360 Images, our videographers, because obviously we
This
need.
is so weird. We got to document it.
Yeah, we need a live camera for the screens, obviously,
Yeah.
so everybody can see everything going on. It's going to be projected on 3 mega screens, and there's going to be Joe live camera on stage, so everybody will be able to see everything good. So then once we have a bingo winner, which I imagine if someone yells bingo,
The bingo is like the most normal thing we're doing. After bingo, it starts to get a little weird.
yeah. We'll have Travis run the gift basket, the prize,
Yeah,
out
he'll
to
run
the
it
pod.
out to you. Probably
So
fall down dressed as Robin or something. I don't know.
we'll have to make a punishment to anybody who yells a false
So
bingo.
we're going cruise attire.
Yeah, we are going. I'm going to dress as a little sailor baby. I'm thinking,
Right.
like a little. I want to do the good ship lollipop kind of. You know, like the ring.
I'll be Marianne
like-
from Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, I want to.
We're all going different.
I want to be like a little British chap, like a little sailor chap, where I'm eating a popsicle, and I'm
Okay.
like, "Oh, I dropped me ice lolly in the bushes."
I'm going old Titanic captain,
Okay.
grizzled old,
Yeah, slightly
go
racist.
down,
Okay.
go
What
down
are you
with the
going
ship.
as?
Marianne from
Yeah,
Gilligan's
yeah.
Island.
What are you going as?
Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon. Oh, he's going to Sailor Moon.
This
Okay.
whole thing is
I like
stupid.
that with the
All right, so
blonde
what's after
wig.
bingo? Because we got to
Okay.
wrap this up,
Sorry,
guys.
sorry.
Wrap it up.
So anyway, after bingo, then our cruise director Mark Walker will take over, and we will have the illusions of professional illusionist and magician Michael Barron, who
Michael Barron.
who has performed
My magic's so good, I'll make you Barron.
who has performed on many cruise ships and
Yeah, very, very small cruise ships.
and he you can look him up, but he's great. I know he's friends with Charles Peacock, which is the reason we got this.
Yep.
And I called Charles Peacock. I told the story to see if he wanted to be involved. He was in the Tonight Show green
I
room.
put that picture up on Instagram. You can see he straight from the Tonight Show right to our flea market of an event.
And he said, absolutely, I want to be involved with
He
this.
does.
Thank you very much. And also, a lot of these guys were struggling because of COVID. Obviously, with the lack of live events, these are live performers. So we're happy to have them involved and
Indeed.
try to get them some money, of course, because they're good people and they're super pro. The stuff that Charles Peacock can do, look up his Tonight Show appearance.
It's pretty
what he
insane.
did. It's crazy. Anyway, he's going to perform after our illusionist. Then to cap off the night, we have local rock reggae band Cashed Out.
Yeah,
which
we've been wanting to work
always
with-
wanted to work with them.
Yeah, we've been wanting to do something with them. We've been wanting to do like that island reggae, like sort of Florida vibe.
Yeah, and if this fits in perfect.
I could not be any happier.
So they'll play for a little over an hour at the end of the night. So it's going to be a cool thing. And the entire time you'll be chilling in your own pod, having food and drinks and
safely.
hanging out. And then at the end of the night, everybody puts their mask on.
And all that we ask is you guys just do what you normally do, which is be the best listeners, the most respectful and kind listeners. Again, the reason we're there is a lot because of what you guys have done in the past. We got asked to be there. They came to us and said, hey, we'd like to have a meeting with you because we like your crew. So hats off to you guys for being so awesome that you get invited places.
Yeah, and to be able to work with Dr. Phillips and their setup.
It's one of the nicest venues in town, especially.
We're super lucky.
During these times that are completely insane,
Yeah.
they're one of the only venues in the Southeast that can even do something like this. So for them to reach out to Tom is kind of weird. But hey, we're all on board, man. I'm proud of you guys, and I'm stoked for this. I'm really excited to see all you guys.
So, and the reason we were trying to blast this out to all BDMs because honestly, me and Daniel, we want this whole thing filled by BDMs because what we did realize, and I wrote a post on the BDM page, and this is true. I started thinking last night, I'm like, when these tickets go on sale for the public, the
What if
general
that's
public
it?
on Friday, dude, Cashed Out is a huge band here in Central Florida.
They're getting bigger. They're with another huge
Once
band.
their audience finds out they're doing a show at Dr. Phillips and
For a
this,
fair price.
they're going to eat up the tickets like crazy.
Sam and I were just on their website. They were doing a mini tour in Texas in
Midwest
March.
and Texas,
They're going right out to Texas. I don't know if they're going to go out there to maybe help out a little bit. Those guys are super cool and nice. I would imagine that they're going to try and help out.
And then everybody has their own following. Ravon has a huge following.
That guy's no joke.
Yeah, people want to go see him. And then Charles Peacock and Michael Barron.
Everyone
And
can look up who's going to be there at
I'm
TomandDanLandCruise.com
sorry. And all your
look
questions.
up all their videos. Let's figure out, let's give them the basics.
Yeah.
Go to either the Dr. Phillips Center website or the TomandDanLandCruise.com. You click the link to buy it. Figure out which pod you want to be in. You got
to enter promo code BDM.
That's what I'm trying to get to.
Sorry.
So today, it started at 12, about 30 minutes ago. The early promo code is BDM. After that, guys, on Friday, it goes on sale to everybody. So try and get it as soon as possible.
Yeah.
That's all we really need to tell them. Now we can get the hell out of here. right?
I wanted to be long-winded.
Well, we're on a schedule. Somebody was late today.
What schedule?
How dare you?
What? Who was late today? Are we on?
So anyway,
here
BDMs,
it
we
goes.
appreciate it. No, I'm ending it. But
All questions, Tony
Yes.
at TomandDan.com.
Yeah. Just he'll let you know, and he's
And everyone
really
be
freaking
respectful.
Oh, yeah.
at Dr. Phillips Center. We don't want to
I thought you meant
trash
to
the
Tony.
well, also to Tony, but also, Dr. Phillips Center. It's a really nice venue. We're very lucky they asked us to be there. Please be on your best behavior.
Yeah, this place actually has landscaping in the when you're walking around there's like manicured plants and shit.
It's amazing.
Their temporary venue fencing is nicer than my home
Their
fencing.
temporary bathrooms are amazing.
EJ, don't go because you'll see the fencing. You'll be so jealous. It's not the fencing that goes up and down.
It's a fancy
the sideways fencing, and that's how rich people have sideways fencing.
All right, BDMs. We hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha and Butler are here. What do we got, buddy?
We got a couple guests on the line. One of our fine sponsors from the Orange County Library System, Scotty. How you doing, Scotty?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you?
Good.
Now, wait a minute. You have this look in your eye. Like you're going to hit Scotty up for something. Like, I can always tell.
No, what do you mean? Come on.
I'm not sure what you're going to hit me up for.
Yeah,
Everything here is
I mean,
free.
even Scotty,
I know.
Scotty, can you feel the energy? I can feel it. Even Scotty knows he can feel the energy.
And Scotty, even when everything's free, there's always something extra free.
Extra free.
Like that's it's like everything's free, but we got this good thing that we held back for the the VIPs.
I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing.
But to also to talk about a really cool event that they got going on Sunday, February 28th at 2 p.m. We've got Jalen Christie on the line. How you doing, Jalen?
I am doing very well. Thank you so much for having me today.
Oh, man,
No
thanks so
problem.
much for the time. Now, in case you're wondering, and I don't know why they would pick the two most illiterate people in Orlando to get the message out, but I think we do a damn fine job of beating the books. My wife, by the way, my daughter's up to 38 books.
What?
Yeah, this month. Now she's just learning to read, but my wife is up to 22 books, and all of them have been checked out from the library. So to celebrate African American literature, they're going to be doing some reading, and you can be a part of all of this. They've got luminaries from all across our fine city. I saw the Demings in there, both of them in there, so you can actually go and check out some people that you actually know, including Jalen.
Yeah, it's a free event.
It's a free event.
YouTube, the Facebook pages, no registrations required.
And this is all to celebrate African American literature, whether it be poetry. A lot of people didn't even know that Maya Angelou, our poet, for America. I don't think officially, I don't know if that's the case, but it should have been. But hey, Jalen, thanks so much for taking the time and being on the show, and we're excited to actually be a part of this.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm really, really excited to have been asked to participate again in the African American read-in. This is actually my third time being selected to do so. So I'm really, really excited about it, and I'm really pleased and honored to be, reading such fantastic literature with such accomplished individuals. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Jalen, I have a question for you. I noticed from reading your bio and reading about you that you're recognized in the Orlando Business Journal as a 40 under 40 recipient last year.
Yeah.
And I looked at that. I just turned 39 last week. So I got 1 year to try to win this.
This isn't about you.
Because I am a local businessman.
Hold on a second. This is about African American poetry and literature.
No, I know.
And maybe shining a light on some people. Like, look, you get enough. You're fine.
No. But I just
You don't
You didn't
need
even
me.
know Orlando Business Journal was a thing before now.
First of all, you need to learn to read and stay. Look,
No, you don't have to learn. You don't have to read for business.
You're trying to steal Jalen shine. I'm not going to let you do it.
No, I just wanted to know more about this because I read it. I was like, hold on. There's an award for best businessman under 40 in Orlando. They picked 40.
Okay, Jalen, tell us a little bit about
how'd you win that?
How did you? I don't think he won it. I would imagine that it wasn't like American Idol. I would imagine that this is his craft and that he is always going to be doing his craft. So he's on the journey 24/7 because it's this thing called life. So Jalen, how did one get recognized for something that seems such a huge honor?
Oh, my gosh. Well, it really, really was a surprise to me, and it was definitely a delight and an honor. So I am the Director of Public Relations at Moxie. We're an integrated marketing agency located in the Milk District of Orlando. And one of my coworkers, Jennifer Griffin, She nominated me for the accolade, and it just recognizes, the best and brightest, I suppose, in Central Florida. But I'll tell you this. If you need help being nominated for the next one, I am more than happy to lend my services to help you get recognized.
Yes, I would.
More than happy to do so.
Jalen, yes, I would.
You sound like a smart businessman. I will give you $1,000 of my own money to not do that.
No, hold on. Is it like
if you wait until he turns 40, I will give you the 1,000 on his 40th birthday, and he will never get nominated.
Well, Jalen, now since you've been recognized, are you one of the people that vote on potential candidates for next year? Because I'll give you I'll give you my resume. I am president, CEO.
You just learned it. Okay, Jalen.
Hold on.
This morning he was calling it a resume, and he didn't know what it was. So he's flexing a new word on you.
I am president and CEO and founder of T&D Media.
No, these are the founders. Those are the people.
No, those don't count. Those are nothing. I'm the real founder. And so there's that. I've done terrestrial radio for
don't say that part.
yeah, that's the embarrassing part, I guess.
You still own a 0.25% of a failed arena football team, so you have that business.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
I don't know if you remember the old Predators, Jalen, but Tom was a part owner of that, and he ran it right into the ground.
No, I know business.
I don't know if you remember Tom and Dan Live at Orlando Live Events, the OLE. We failed there. We oversold Sanford when we had comedian Tone X
Don't tell them about that.
Yeah.
They won't find that. Anyway, Jalen, do they look at your Facebook or your internet history? Because I don't want
Well, I'll tell you this: we can gloss all over. We can dismiss the failures and focus on the positive.
Yeah.
That's why I like Jalen. I'm sorry, Jalen. I feel like we're embarrassing Scotty too because every time
I like the way that we do these interviews when we do our library interviews. We usually have Scotty from the library come on, and then we just have him hide in a box.
Yeah. We have the guest who's a super accomplished.
And we're like, Scotty, stand in the corner while we embarrass you, and then pop out at the end and say, "It's all right."
Don't worry, I give them fair warning before they agree to the interview.
Jalen, this is going to be a ridiculous question, and I apologize, but one of my biggest fears is having to read in public.
I think this is a good question.
I'm not joking. When I used to be a kid, I would see the president of the United States read to an elementary school.
Yeah.
And I would be like, man, I could do that job except for the reading to the elementary.
Yeah.
I used to think that was the worst part of being a president.
Jalen, and I can help you. I can sum this up for you a little bit, Jalen, using pop culture. Tom is like a really, really dumb version of the King's Speech.
Oh my gosh! Wow!
Yeah. So Jalen,
there's Big Dumb King, the follow-up to that.
So
movie.
Because this is a serious question, I've always wondered when someone has to read a book or a passage or something to anywhere in public,
masses.
How many times do you practice it beforehand, or are you just so good that you're I could open up any book and read perfectly. I could read anything to an audience one shot. Because I would have to be months of practice, and I'm talking children's books. But so do you practice?
Well, I'm a firm believer that no one gets anywhere without a little help. So with these kinds of events, I usually practice with either my best friend or my girlfriend, so I can get it right. Because I can be a little nervous as well. I won't even lie. But the good thing is, I've had a week or two to prepare in doing these kinds of events. So, I definitely practice. That's my secret.
Okay, cool. It's
like you're interviewing him like he's a world record holding base jumper, and you're asking him about reading for Christ's sake.
It's and believe me, I understand it's the dumbest question to ask. Do you practice reading?
Yeah, it's like talking to a man it's like talking to Neil Armstrong and being like, "What's it like on the moon?" This guy's he's reading.
know.
The good thing is that you don't have to memorize it, so you're actually reading it as opposed to having to commit it to memory, which makes it a little bit easier.
Correct.
Yes, yeah. Also, doing it virtually, it feels like that would take the pressure off, because anytime a live audience, I just feel like now we're just in front of a camera. Or how does that work with you? Like, is it to take the pressure off that you're doing it in front of a camera instead of a live audience?
Well, whenever you're doing it in front of a live audience, you only have one chance to really get it right. The beauty of this event being virtual is that we were able to record our segments in advance. So I could go back and re-record if I needed to.
Great.
Yeah,
Okay, awesome.
And then that way, too, the people that are joining
get the best possible experience.
Get the best possible experience. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
So, Scotty, first, I apologize for embarrassing you.
I don't understand why when Scotty calls, we don't just start with an apology every time.
Right.
I just feel like it would be easier. And as long as we know our workflow is start with apology and then go into interview, I think we'll be fine.
And so let's talk about this event. You don't need to register, but how can people be involved, and how can people get on and watch this?
Sure. Well, they can visit our website. It's ocls.info. You can go right to that page by going to ocls.info/African-American-Read. And it's an exciting event this year because we're in this weird world where we had to do the event virtual, but it also opened up some opportunities. We have a keynote speaker, opening keynote speaker. It's Beverly Jenkins.
Yeah.
She does historical romance, big-time author.
That's a big get,
Actually, we had the opportunity to interview her for our podcast, which is called Shelf Centered, and we'll have that up in time for the African American
Awesome.
Read-In. So find that where you find your podcast, but not to put Miss Bev down, but I think she would actually agree with this. Our closing keynote speaker is an even bigger deal. It's Carla Hayden. She's the 14th Librarian of Congress. So we're extremely honored. And then just people, you'll be able to log on. It'll be on YouTube and Facebook. Now, if you're busy during this time, don't worry, because it's also going to live on our YouTube and Facebook beyond that day.
Yep.
Cool. So people can go on ocls.org.
Yeah, you're not going to miss
also,
it.
.info.
And .info. So, and then and get all the entire package after the event.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll send you to our YouTube as well, YouTube and Facebook. And I know I'm sure everybody is a subscriber already to our library YouTube. And
Tom is. God, I can't get him off that thing.
I need to be better, because that's the overwhelming theme of every time
We must do better.
Well, I just need
1% better.
I need to get better, and this is a way for me to get better.
I
So
wish you'd get better.
Scotty, Jalen, it's
God,
impossible.
I pray to God you'll get better.
It's impossible. Scotty, Jalen, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us. And this sounds like an awesome event, and I hope that everybody listening to this can check it out. I feel like it's a great thing for your kids to watch and get all
For
this
anybody,
info. Yeah.
really. I mean, I've done these virtual deals with the library with Maisie a couple of times, and they're really, really fun. Guys, good luck with everything. Always a pleasure talking to you, and we'll see you February 28th at 2 p.m.
Thanks for having us.
All right, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care. See you, Jalen. It was good to see him. Or talk to him.
Yeah.
See him. I mean, I'm not seeing anybody anymore. I don't know why I said see him.
How much
I had a complete freak out at the end there. Lost my goddamn mind. I'm like, I have to go to see him. Robot.
Beep, bop, boop, bada, bop.
because anytime me and Daniel,
I'm trying to hit buttons while I'm talking, and
Yeah.
it used to work, but now as I age, I'm realizing
Only
that
one thing at a time.
yes.
You know-
As I hit a button, and I'm like, my mind goes, you can't talk and hit a button at the same time, and that's what I've done for 25 years.
Multitasking is getting harder and harder as you get older.
Yeah.
we're so used to talking to our listeners and BDMs and just clowning them.
Nonsense.
Then when it gets to we have
be
to
professional. Like, all I want to do is have fun and yell at Scotty.
it's hard to be professional.
Scotty's fun. I've partied with Scotty. All I want to do is party with Scotty. I don't want to be a man. I'm a boy.
I feel like it's hard to be professional. Like, it's not that hard. Like, you just get it together. 15 minutes. You can't do it. My God.
14 minutes and 20 seconds. And we didn't even make it 15 without me going, this is sucks.
You can't be professional. Anyway, I love that the library advertises with us. Like, it's because
I do too.
The
one thing that I don't like. Okay, here. It's a hot take, right? Permission to throw a hot take at you?
Sure. Yeah.
Everything at the library is free. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. We're
I'd
advertising
like
like, hey, go get this free
I want
stuff.
them to be like, oh, Daniel, because you're doing such a good job and talking about our awesome library
give you
system,
free access.
we'll give you free books. They're already free.
Yeah. Everything I have is free. Yeah.
So I'm with you about, you know what? You are the smart one. Because you're smart enough to know that everything at the library is free already. You got to ask for that VIP.
The extra free.
Yeah, that's what you were asked. That's the way you started the interview, which is very embarrassing. But I'm on board now. I agree with you.
Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with more A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
Welcome indeed. I'm Dan. Sam's here. Butler's here. The fish are here. Did you see the fish tank's clean?
Yeah.
Finally.
Apparently, all that green.
I told you that wasn't supposed to be there.
We were like,
I
that's
liked
natural.
it.
That's supposed to happen.
Okay, there was green grass on the bottom growing and waving. It was
gross.
high, like the house in your neighborhood that everybody knows. High grass.
Yeah,
And then on
crazy
the
cat
top,
lady.
on the top of our rocks, we had grown a bright red clay-colored wavy fungus that would whip in the waves. That is now all gone. I guess he pulled it all. I don't know if that was good, bad. I don't know what it was.
Well, obviously, it wasn't supposed to be.
How long have we had our
cleaned
tank?
it out.
How long have we had our tank?
Almost a year.
Almost a year. I know nothing about it.
Oh, yeah, because it's right after the pandemic.
I swear to God, we've
Kinda
had this
March
thing
or
a year.
April.
I have known nothing about it. I don't know where the water goes. I don't know. I've never seen I don't know how to feed them. I don't know.
That's an automatic feeder. It's fine.
What's it feed them?
No, it's an automatic feeder.
Well, yeah, but what does it feed them?
And when does it actually feed them?
We
Are
don't
we
know.
out of
Never
feed?
seen it.
Yeah, I don't think it does.
How
I
do
think
we check the feed?
It does have an automatic feeder. I just don't think we have it hooked up to a timer. So it's the worst form of torture for fish. It's just a see-through box of food that just hangs over the tank for a year.
No, I think it pours out at night or something.
Oh, it does for me.
We should probably figure that out.
Nah.
Well, they're alive, so I
I
assume
have
it's
a-
been
They're
doing
eating each other.
Okay,
Tom.
I have a remote on my phone where I can change the color of the lights, but it says there's a button on there that says feed that I can hit, but I just never done it.
Oh, do I hit it and see what happens?
Well, I don't want to do
boy.
everything around here. You hit the damn button.
I don't have the button.
Well, then that's not my fault.
So, what?
Well, we solved that problem. By the way,
We kind of went into this one blind.
that's how most of our problems go, by the way. We just talk them out, and then we get to a point where we've talked. No solution.
Did you want to talk about the residual fight, or were you saving that for another show?
Oh, we could talk about the residual fight.
Well, what do you mean? What's that?
Well,
Dan told me to write down residual
I
fight.
get yelled at about things that you get yelled at about.
Oh,
Yeah, this is great.
why?
I'm glad you brought that up. Because that's how women work, Tom. You know this.
Ah,
Well, okay, your wife was complaining about you to my wife.
Oh, they're
Tell me-
talking amongst each other.
Tell me if this sounds familiar. This week, supposedly, now I'm only getting bits and pieces from my wife, who was talking to me on the way to dinner last night in front of my daughter. This is where it gets a little spicy. So my wife is telling me a story, and she's making fun of me because she's like, you and Tom don't know how to pack lunches. Stupid. And I'm like,
no.
what do you mean we don't know? What are you talking about? And she's like, oh, yeah, I was just talking to Crystal, and, you know, like, do you know what Tom actually packed his boys for lunch the other day? And I was like, I don't know, food town. Wait, you know, and she's like, cheese sandwich, cheese stick, and Cheez-Its with a side of cheese. And then
my God.
Maisie from the back seat goes, that's too much cheese. And I'm like,
oh, what are you, the cheese police?
that's what I said. I'm like, oh,
It's gonna block him up.
look who's here. Oh, we got Cagney and Lacey Swiss over here, everybody. That's a funny joke. That's a funny joke. Cagney and Lacey Swiss. I'm telling you, it's not fair. And seemingly, my daughter was born with crow genes
Yeah.
because
Don't let her turn
I'm
into a
trying
crow.
to defend you, but then they're just going in on me. You see, they took something that I didn't pack any lunches this week. I'm quiet in the car, holding my phone, looking at text messages from you guys about this event that we're trying to pull off, trying to see if I can help you in any way. We're driving to La Fiesta to get, to pick up some takeout, while they're yelling at me for something I did not do about something you did. That you don't even know you're getting clowned. You don't even know you're getting clowned by my wife and daughter per your wife.
I
How does that work?
Well, she makes comments every time that I'm putting together the boys' lunch because growing up, my mom
And cheese is healthy. They just put a thing out this week. The cheese, they think the cheese this week was touted as healthier than ever.
I don't even think that what I'm serving them is actual cheese. So it's just some sort of flavored oil. It's like Kraft singles and like the cheese and cheese.
Does it say cheese on it? Does it say cheese on it?
It says cheese.
All right,
Cheese product.
Hey.
Yeah, it's a cheese product. Anyway, I grew up I always had a snack area in my house filled at all times.
This is a theme in the Van household.
I never had a snack
He's got
area.
a toy room.
No.
That we learned about on Semantics.
He compartmentalizes
now he's got a
his
snack room when he was growing up.
He compartmentalizes his failings.
Whatever it is to ruin
Spoiled children.
There's
a room dedicated to it.
He puts it all in a box, heart-shaped box, Nirvana.
So I had this snack area growing up, and then it was always
snack zone.
It always had a bag of assorted chips. It had
Man, you had a
You
great
had emergency chips?
It had
Your mom's the best.
there was always Chips Ahoy
What?
complete
the full pack.
the full
God
pack.
bless Mama Van.
There was I'd like to call
How did you not grow up morbidly obese?
yeah, but that I think there's something
Trash
because
kids don't get morbidly obese.
You did get a little chunky though.
My
Yeah, you can
friends
chunk up, but trash kids traditionally they'll start to take on that skinniness of a construction worker early on, especially if the sun is shining right on their necks.
My friends would come over and they would blow their mind. They just eat
Yeah,
the snacks.
you
and
know
be like,
who
oh
you
my
were?
God, you got so many snacks.
You know who you were? I still remember him. He's the kid. Remember when I almost killed myself on the trampoline, landed on my neck? Brendan O'Brien. He had a snack zone.
I had the
God, you
Man.
rich ass kids in your
Right?
snack zones. I am no snack zone.
In a ration or
My mom,
snacks.
the only cereal I was allowed to have was Cheerios, and that's for nerds.
I had
You got
a
an off-brand Cheerios in the bag.
jumbo can of potato sticks.
Dude, picnic sticks?
Then
It's
I
a
had
delicious.
the wafer like
The little with the
Nutter Butter?
cream in the
cream wafers,
and they're
yes.
like pink and yellow and
Yeah.
brown.
Oh, those are straight sugar. My dad loved those. By the way.
Yeah, there were all those.
My dad is saluting you from heaven right now.
We would have bags of they were basically gelatin orange squares that I think my mom thought they were healthy because they resembled
orange.
orange.
They're the color orange, and orange is good.
But all they is just the
Miami.
orange slices. They were called. They
oh
were
no,
a bag
the Brock's orange slices where
It
they
was just
take
pure sugar.
Yeah, it's a
Fruit
jelly.
snack.
It's a
Jelly-
jelly candy.
yeah,
it's
yeah,
no
yeah.
different than a jelly bean. They just roll it in sugar.
Your mom's like, there's vitamin C packed in there.
she still
Right?
says that. Some,
With Sunkissed, yeah.
and
May
then
or
I
may not
drank
still-
Sunkissed.
Yes.
And
Oh,
then
man.
I had bologna and cheese.
Can't believe your teeth aren't rotted out.
Hey, Friday, if I
Some
bought
of them.
for Friday, I want to recreate your snack zone for Friday's free show.
Oh, we're gonna get fat.
So anyway, and to this day, my mom still brings, there's no joke, wherever she goes in the car, she has a tiny cooler with
Snack pack.
two sun kisses, and she's got vanilla wafer snacks, and then
I
like
love it.
little.
How does she not have diabetes?
I mean,
It doesn't affect
genetics.
it. No,
though,
it just
genetics.
doesn't work like
It's
that.
Like she's pushing the genetics to the brink.
limits.
Does the man who
I tell her, I'm like,
does-
you're gonna die.
Does the snake wrangler? He's immune to the poison after a while, right?
Yeah, something
Right.
You know, and then he
Right,
wears
right.
then he wears the snake's fangs around his neck as like a way to show other people that he is immune.
So from that, every time I go to the grocery store, I'm always grabbing snack packs
I thought you were
of
going
like
to say my genitals.
Pringle, like the snack packs where it's like 12 in a box of
Right.
the Cheez-Its,
Like a
of the
family
Pringles.
pack.
Yeah.
And there's also Oreo Thins that I have. And then
Oh,
Chris
healthy
gets
because they're thin.
real bad because I put those.
I don't
and
like
the-
Oreo Thins because I eat twice as many of them.
But I don't eat any of it. But the boys, they get excited.
Yeah, because it's junk food.
And
Why
then
wouldn't they?
Crystal gets mad, and she's like, regular people put healthy snacks in nuts. and apple slices.
No,
and
regular people put snacky snacks in there.
Okay,
yeah.
Overly healthy
granola.
people.
And I'm like, well, I'm white trash. I'm
Yeah.
not a regular person.
We have granola and we have apple slices. And we also, what was the other one you said? Nuts. We have nuts.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh,
we
God.
put those in her lunch.
Yeah.
And then every day they all come back. So what I do, now I figured out a trick. I figured out a trick with the nuts and the apple slices, and, we went with beef jerky. Andrew's like, well, it's sodium, but, beef jerky is a protein,
Yeah.
So that stuff comes back. And I figured out the trick. I take that stuff out, and then in place of it, I put candy and Oreo Thins, and it works. She eats it every time.
Oh, yeah.
Who's the good parent now?
My sons, they eat all. Like,
Yes,
sometimes
they eat-
they'll leave
yeah.
their peanut butter and jelly sandwich
To eat the
because
candy.
they ate all the candy and
Well, of
snacks. I
course.
put.
Now, if you're like me, what do you put in there?
That's just a sugar sandwich.
you put you put in 2 Reese eggs, and you put a little Post-it note
Two Reese eggs?
because she can read now that says "Daddy is the best."
I got in
Right?
trouble for putting actual candy.
I did too.
I got shut down for that. I put a little miniature, like after
I
Halloween.
put 2
Yeah.
Reese's eggs.
I was sneaking in
Yep.
miniature Snickers, and then Crystal found
Oh, yeah.
because the kids are so stupid. They
They'll
leave
leave the wrapper
they leave
in
the
there.
wrapper,
Yeah,
and they're like,
idiots.
throw the wrapper on the GD floor,
Yeah.
like their janitor.
my
I told
God.
Macy's
God.
like I threw we were eating candy. We were having a sleepover, we were eating candy in her bed. I
You're
threw a
raising
wrap.
elitists.
I threw a wrapper on the ground, and
Yeah.
Macy's like, "Oh my God, that's trash." I go, "Just put it on your bed." That's what I do. Andrea was cleaning up my side of the bed that, by the way, looks like Whitney Houston's hotel room that she died in.
Oh, no.
And because it's just marijuana dispensers.
Pill
Yeah, oh my
bottles.
God.
Paraphernalia.
There's just it's just batteries everywhere, and then underneath the bed is 1,000 old dusty Diet Mountain Dew bottles. Where I just fall off my chest. It's horrible. No way to live.
And I also tell my wife, I'm like, they're 5 and 6. Whatever garbage they eat, they burn it off.
Yeah.
Like, I think you need to eat healthy. And they
Bet
still
you want to give them healthy
think-
eating habits.
No,
I think
well,
when you
they still
hit
get their
50, I
vegetable-
think you start eating healthy.
I give them the vitamins every day, and they have the stuff, and they get to eat the vegetables at dinner, and all the stuff.
That's all they eat.
Crystal makes it, she forces them to eat the broccoli and the vegetables every dinner.
Yeah.
They're miserable. They hate it. And so I'm like, all this other garbage they eat, they're burning it off. It's their tiny human bodies are resilient, and it's not going to be fine. Once they get like past 18 and into the 30s, you got to start eating vegetables.
Yeah.
You're morbidly obese. You can't eat this, so it's like, they're fine, right? Like,
I mean, I guess. I don't know. There's so many other things out there to kill you, like the virus. I figure I slip a couple Reese eggs in there. You'll be all right.
look at some of the best. I always make this.
Christine just checking in with her lunch. She just had chips and a Hawaiian punch.
Remember when
Health Day on the show.
Orlando City did a whole initiative to try to get healthier foods in like urban grocery stores that had a void of fresh produce and things because
It's the food deserts in certain inner city areas.
yeah
You can't get like
fresh vegetables.
you
and
can't get
stuff,
anything
and,
that actually will give you nutrients or
Yeah.
life.
And then so they're stuck with eating just all processed foods and basically garbage and stuff, and it's not nutritious. But I contend some of the best athletes come out of areas that have food deserts and didn't get any nutrition, and they're so fast and good.
I
and
also
athletic.
remember
So
you and I bringing.
how bad could it be?
I also remember you and I bringing that up when we were talking about this, when we were working for Orlando City, and them looking at us like, guys, that's not what we're doing here.
No,
You're
no, I'm
idiots.
not-
And we're
we're-
like, yeah, but look at these players, how good they are. We're like,
They didn't grow up eting any vegetables, and they're the fastest humans on earth, the
Yeah.
best
in
athletes
fact, they
ever.
might be fast because they're running away from vegetables. Because I don't know if you guys have eaten
They're
vegetables,
disgusting.
but if I had my druthers, if Samantha came in here and she in one bowl had vegetables, and then another bowl had Cardi B Jamaican jerk chicken flavored wrap snack potato chips,
Right.
I'm going for the Cardi B potato
Yeah.
chips every time because wrap snacks are goddamn delicious.
Yeah. Have you tried the wrap snack ramen?
Can't find it. D-Rod
either.
finds it all the time. I will try it. It's on my bucket list. Dude, wrap snack potato chips are no joke.
They're great.
I've had almost every one that they've had. The only ones I can't find are have you seen the cheese curls and the imitation Funyun rings?
No.
Yeah, they got those too.
Have you
really
guys-
hard to find.
Have you guys seen the videos where they take a square of ramen and then they like somehow smush it onto a toilet or whatever, like a sink or like side of a car, and then through water and like shaving it, they're able to like use it as bondo.
Yeah.
That is like there's the one where the sink, there's like a huge broken piece of a sink, and they shave ramen and then they spray paint it with like porcelain,
Yeah.
and then it looks. But that'll easily just break off, right? It's,
Well,
I wouldn't put pressure on it. Yeah.
and only use half the sodium packet because it's too.
Yeah, too salty.
that's just straight garbage, right?
Is
That-
ramen? Ramen is like, I don't know where I stand on ramen because people talk.
Crystal loves, and Crystal and Tommy will eat ramen noodle soup.
Like the brick kind.
Yeah, oh yeah,
But
yeah.
but your wife loves sodium,
Yes,
and that's what they're chasing, right?
Yes.
Because I remember eating like either potato chips or popcorn with her. I think one time. No, you know where we were at? Like a Mexican restaurant. We were eating chips and salsa, and she was salting the chips.
Oh yeah,
And I remember
She's
thinking,
sodium
"Wow."
crazy.
Wow.
Yeah,
But it also has no effect on her. I think, right?
or yeah, her
It doesn't
blood.
make her bloat?
I'm
Some
not
people
sure.
can handle it.
All I know is her blood pressure has always been abnormally low, like
That's cool.
like 90 over 60 her whole life and stuff. So it seemingly won't have an effect on her, like because really sodium, that's not really bad for you unless you have blood pressure problems.
I've
Like,
never had.
Other than that,
it's embarrassing
not
to say this,
hurt-
but ramen like you're talking about,
yeah,
like I've never had it. Not even one time.
like the
What?
cheapo packets of.
I know people think I'm crazy.
We should do that for Friday's show.
I'll do it.
Ramen. It's either chicken fire or ramen.
I mean, it's just water. Oh, chicken fire is amazing.
It's just a flavored water. The noodles are basically just
It's salty water and fat, right? Because there's a lot of saturated fat in these these noodles, and then it's just
all it is, yeah.
like salty water.
and they're like 39 cents a packet. It's the stereotypical poor college food.
You don't like it? Max doesn't like it?
No. We're not big soup eaters.
I do like soup, but I don't like. I'm less of a brothy soupman, more of a chili or a stew. I'm a stewman.
I don't like salt on. I don't put salt on things. So just it's too salty. It bothers me.
No, Christine says we should go to a legit ramen shop. Which one? Like
Domo's
Domo?
around here.
Domo?
Yeah, I don't. But we're talking the cheapo
Yeah, the 15
package
cents.
with the brick.
I've never had.
punch.
Top ramen.
I've never had ramen.
Weird. Like
Yeah, I know. I think I would love it, but
I've only
I
had it
love
because
most Asian foods.
I wouldn't have had it either if Crystal wasn't into it. So I'd be with you because I'm not a soup guy. So
Y'all didn't grow up poor, man.
Yeah, well, no, we did, but that wasn't our poor food of choice.
And bologna and hot
so
dogs.
Yeah,
cheap.
yeah, we went bologna because up to my dad, like meals
Vienna
without.
Yeah, but like
sausage.
growing up and like going to college, living on your own, you didn't eat ramen?
I eat salads. What I would do is I
Sounds
would
expensive.
I would go to like a produce place and buy heads of lettuce, and I had a mini fridge that we all shared, and I would just load it full of that, and I'd make my own salad dressing. I would just eat salad.
I'd eat other garbage too because the ramen never made me full. Like it just seemed like
It's all
so
noodles.
Yeah, but it's just there's nothing to it. There's no substance like the soup.
That's why my dad, I
So,
think I was like, the stereotype was always like bologna over ramen because at least it's meat.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like, so my dad
And
was
it's
like,
some
I
sort
think I
of
was
substance.
conditioned to have like, you got to have meat and potatoes, like hit over the head with that. It's got to be like, you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
some sort of meat, even if it's Carl Budding style lunch meat that's horrible.
Or bread will fill you more than soup. It seemed like, even though the noodles should be the same anyway. Yeah. It's, I had all the other poor food. The Vienna sausages.
Yeah,
Oh,
we would do
God.
Vienna sausages, bologna.
Mm-mm.
We'd buy the tube of
Gross.
meat, like when we were like
Yeah.
making hamburgers. We'd buy tube meat. It's
Yep.
it's not good. But ramen, it was just weird. It wasn't like a thing. Like it's a thing now where it's almost like hip to be like, oh, you don't like ramen or you didn't eat like it's almost like a. There's like a I don't even know what
A
you call
culture.
that. Yeah,
the
there's-
ramen culture.
Yeah, they're like even people wear like like a top ramen sweatshirt.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost got like a coolness to it, whereas ramen wasn't a thing. When I was in college, the cheapest food we could get was Hungry Howie's.
Every once in a while, a food will have a culture like that. You know what else? Like
Sriracha has it. Yep.
Yeah, sriracha hot sauce got that weird.
Yep.
Like, hey, you're in the club.
Kiko Man, the soy sauce, they partnered with like Vans or Escape Company. Sometimes these weird companies will like partner with people and they'll almost get like a
Yeah.
boost.
But that the sriracha brand became like a pop culture brand, and people were like into it just because it was the art and everything involved.
And then it
besides
had like
the hot sauce.
weird news stories too. Like I want to say about 5 years ago,
White Claw got that too, where
Yes.
when the hard seltzers first came out.
Yeah, sriracha got the natural injection too because they were like one of these companies where they were making sriracha out in California, remember? And then the people, the neighbors were complaining that the factory was burning their eyes.
Yeah.
So it was like getting news, and then it was like more popular. Then you had websites. I remember I bought those little sriracha keychains.
Yeah, that was
where you
popular.
I was giving them out to people where you could carry sriracha, and it's interesting. And then it became like sort of mainstream because now you can walk over to Publix and get like sriracha brand ketchup. Or
mayo,
Right.
they've branched out into every different type
and
of
then
condiment.
like every
Dude,
other
the condiment game
It's
has
insane.
changed so much. Now you can do the whole ketchup mayo already mixed together, like all that stuff.
Think about how like
I'm
even
a sucker for a good condiment, and I wish I wasn't.
the
Oh, I love
aisle
it.
of a grocery store,
Full
one
aisle.
side,
Yeah.
one full aisle is all condiments.
Yeah.
Like that shows how
They
much.
sell the knockoff secret sauce. They sell all the Chick-fil-A
It
sauces.
just shows how much we dislike chicken because if chicken were so goddamn good, we wouldn't
I
have
was
a
about to
sauce
say,
aisle.
it shows how much our
Chicken
food
sucks.
is
Bland.
sucks and bland, dude.
Yeah.
Like we need a whole aisle of condiments to dump on our food.
No,
We could just go
Ron-
down the seasoning aisle, but nah.
Well, Juan would say go to like Spiceology, like a
Yeah.
good website, and buy seasoning and then make your own, which I've tried to do. It's hard though, man.
Yeah. Well, it's also that's a lot of time. Most people don't have enough time to cook their own dinners, much less start making their own condiments.
Yeah.
But it is better.
I found-
like you go to a restaurant, they make their own ketchup. Always better. Like you're like this is good.
ranch.
The ranch too.
Ranch, you
is-
can
yeah.
never find good enough ranch.
It's always
in
too
the
thick.
stores.
It's too thick. I like a thinner ranch.
Gators Ranch is so good.
Gators Ranch is so good.
Yeah,
Bottle it up. I will buy it. My God.
Yeah, I think you can get it, but you just have to like.
You gotta buy it.
They'll
by the
ladle
gallon.
it into your hands. It's just hard to drive home like that. You
wanna-
don't get to make any of the stuff that I like to make because you live in a primarily vegetarian household. But man, I made some cowboy beans last week that were amazing.
Well, let me talk to you about this. My buddy who owns that ranch gave me some steaks
Oh, buddy.
from his personal cattle
Okay. Oh,
that he had frozen, and he gave me two
They have names on them.
big ass. I
I hope it was it's their heads, right? They gave you
The
two
whole
huge
head.
bovine heads.
Yeah, it's hard to put in my truck.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have Butler weather them, right? Put them on a pike.
But he gave me two T-bones, and so I've been like, because I don't want to
You
ruin
gonna eat
them.
them both?
Yes.
Why don't you invite your buddy old Daddy Denny over
Yeah.
and maybe I'll cook them up for you in my,
Well,
you know,
I was
I'm
gonna ask
gifted
you-
a T-bone from a trouble.
Because I learned how to cook a fillet with my sous vide, and it actually, you know, those fillets that we got a while back in the
they're
pandemic or whatever. I learned how
I
to
need
cook.
some more of those.
Yeah, I need some more.
I know.
of those
Yeah,
too.
we just had to ask the favor. To
yeah,
get
the
but
filet man.
so we also got a new sponsor coming up. that
I'm
we're
excited
announcing.
about this.
We'll get
new
them from there
sponsor
because
that Butler's working on. That
yeah.
Oh, buddy.
So
I'm gonna
anyway,
be cook my balls.
I learned the fillets, like you cook them sous vide, then you finish them off, just sear them in the pan or
Yeah.
on the grill,
Put a little
and
butter
dude, it's
in
perfect.
there, a
Yeah,
little-
like exactly
some
cooked.
herbs.
It was the easiest way for me to cook them perfectly. But with T-bones, you do the same thing, Daniel. Like bone in T-bone,
You
like
absolutely can do the same
sous vide
thing.
bag, sous vide them, then finish them on like the pan or the grill,
You
super high.
absolutely could.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do the same thing. It's maybe a little bit more difficult because of the bone, but Ronald, I mean, you need to have his number and then just launch a quick text to him because normally if he can't tell you in a couple of words, he'll link you to something that
Yeah.
can.
Well, the internet tells me everything.
Yeah,
now,
but he'll save you some trouble because there's some stuff out there that's like weird. I try not to get my recipes off of like Instagram or TikTok or Facebook because a lot of those have a tendency to be trends. Mm-hmm. You know, like I saw one this week that was hit or miss. Now, I'm not bagging on you if you tried this. I'm just using as an example. But I think it was like a feta cheese pasta bake that everybody was doing off of TikTok. But then I was seeing a lot of people kind of fail on it. And I'm like, that's kind of why I go with recipes. Because,
Right.
you know, I'd rather talk to somebody that did it that can. Because one, a lot of times will say, here's how you do it, but don't do this because that's the first mistake everybody makes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely getting personalized advice is better.
People are asking in our Twitch chat room about the 159 barbecue sauce if we're ever going to do it again. I have one bottle left. Just opened it.
We need to do it.
That is hot as hell, that barbecue sauce. My God, it's spicy.
We actually started the ball rolling again.
He just emailed me.
And it was one of those things where it falls to the wayside because things come up. We do need to get something like that going again, especially now because we have a butcher sponsor coming up, and then
give me the meats,
and we can
He
sell
can't
it.
stand
We
it
can
there.
sell
He's
it
got
in
the cooking
store.
bug.
Yeah. So maybe that's a good. Maybe Travis will reach back out and then get the.
the ball rolling.
You
there.
know what we
with
should
sauce,
do?
man.
You know what we should do? It would be really hard, and I was about to nominate myself to do it, but it would be difficult on Fridays. But I mean, there's no reason we can't do a little car lot action here, right? Why shouldn't we have a grill?
No, start grilling
And
on the
start
back.
on Fridays when we do the show, we just do like that's what 1010 does. Car lots do it where it's your Friday and you grill. Very little work getting done. It's really
Right.
Facebooking. We're grilling all day.
I'll stand back there with the towel. I like the move of the towel, and you whip the towel at the hot spots.
Yeah.
And
And the
then-
smoke, wolf them down.
And I'll do a little dance, and I'll.
I miss our neighbor who used to come out topless all the time. If she
Yeah,
would just
she's
stand
gone.
next to me with her big fake boobs while I'm grilling these
They
Tito's.
weren't fake.
They were big and perfect. Then.
Yeah, I don't know who lives back there now. Like, does anybody live in that studio?
Not sure.
No, I don't think so. Hey, what
God,
if
we
we put
need
our
to-
grill in the studio?
Well, I wanted to rent it out to have me and your
Party pad.
No, our personal offices
pad.
up there.
Sam,
Don't say
Sam,
all
do not bother me until it's 5 seconds to going on live. Have everything rolling. I just want to walk in, make the jokes, and go grill.
Then we retire back to our offices
Yeah.
up there where we'll set it up total
Mr. Daniel.
black
Yes,
leather.
Sam. God damn it. What is it?
We'll get an intercom.
Just wanted to tell you're the best boss ever.
Thank you, Sam. I know. That was a role play in my head.
We'll get complete all black leather furniture.
Oh, I thought
some
you were gonna say
diamond plate.
complete all black leather outfits like
Yes.
Elvis 1967 or next 64 comeback special, 63, 67.
You can have the living room area, and I'll take the bedroom because that's all it is as my main office.
Well, you get the bedroom. Why? So you get the private bathroom?
Well, I need the big oak desk and the tapestries. In my, like one of
a
the,
couple of American flags. One American flag, the corner Florida flag on the other, like bookending the desk.
Oh yeah. Some books in the back. They're
Yeah.
all fake.
Couple pictures of your
This is
family.
wallpaper.
Pictures of you standing on a ranch holding a gun, the head of a rhinoceros with blood coming out of its horn. Stuff like that.
yeah. You got it.
You got it.
Bye. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. Butler's here. And my pet bird, Javier, is here. I let him loose once a week. I get the ability to socialize my bird, and I bring him to the studio, and I release him. And Javier just kind of has his way with our studio.
So if you're a BDM and you're listening to this and you haven't got the word, the email, or
Bird
the
is the
Facebook-
word.
Our Tom and Dan Land Cruise event that's coming up in April. Tickets for pre-sale for BDMs only went on sale today.
Check your emails.
So check your email,
Yes.
go on the BDM only Facebook page or some of the subgroups. We try to litter it everywhere. But you guys can find the promo code that you need to buy early tickets. And regular tickets go on sale on Friday. And all the information is on tomanddanlandcruise.com. I won't go into all the specifics.
Surprised that URL was available.
Yeah. We got a ridiculous event, and I think it's going to be maybe one of our best events just from the lineup alone. You know what I'm saying?
It will either be the best or the worst, and if it's not either of those, right in the middle. That's
Mediocre.
That's
what I'm saying.
That's what we promise. Best, worst, or something
in the
between
middle.
there.
I like to let people decide because we live in a time where you can decide pretty much anything you want. There isn't anything you can't be. There's not anything that you can actually be your authentic self. in this way that we live. So you take this event any way you want it, just as long as you're there. That's what I'm saying. You want to do a weird job?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, buddy. It is Weird Job Wednesday time starting now. Let's see if I finally got it right. You do realize I have yet to do this correctly since we changed the computers. Here we go. Up.
Yes!
Yeah.
Knew I couldn't do it. Well, I got nothing on this one. Then.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, it's completely broken.
We're gonna
Do it live.
Do an old Weird Job song is in there.
I got nothing.
Okay.
It's failed. So, ladies and gentlemen, for Weird Job Wednesday, this is our good friend Jay.
How you doing,
guys?
How you doing, Jay?
Doing all right. How about you guys?
Good. Now, Jay has been a BDM.
I'm very angry right now.
I know. I can tell it. It's fine.
I broke everything.
No, it's always my fault. But
And Jay has been involved in some past events. One which was our 90s 9-year anniversary event, where Jay was the ring announcer, because Jay is a part-time ring announcer, and that's what we're going to talk about today, because you got an event coming up, right, Jay?
Yep, I do. It's this coming Saturday, the 27th, Undisputed Promotions, professional boxing. It's going to be at the Caribe Royale Resort. It's on World Drive in Orlando. Really beautiful ballroom. Awesome place to see live professional boxing. We got some pro debuts coming up. Isaiah Descent will making his pro debut. A lot of local fighters will be on this show as well. Giovanni Estella, Danny Suarez, Joshua LeBron. Those are three of the local fighters that are real talented fighters. They're all, I believe, undefeated, either 1 or 2-0. They just starting out their careers, real young kids. We've also got Armani El Mastica. He's actually going to be on the Puerto Rican Olympic team in the Olympics this year, if they happen. Of course, he'll be taking on Jose Ceja. And then one of the most popular established guys we've got on the card is going to be Carlos Vidal. He's 16-0 with 15 knockouts. So depending on who he's going up against, it could be a quick one. So that one's going to be at the Caribe Royale Resort in Orlando.
You lit a fuse a little bit. I kind of want to see this. This sounds kind of fun, man. Boxing, I will say that I do not know much about boxing, but when it's on, I watch. Yeah. If I'm going through the channels, if ESPN were smart enough to just have let's just say, we live in a time, and I always thought as a kid with XM Series satellite radio, with radio stations, that eventually we'd get to a time where, even as a child in the 80s, I thought that we would have a channel dedicated to everything at some point, right?
Yeah.
Why is there no free, always available, maybe there is, boxing channel that just rotates good boxing matches at all times? Because I think I would watch that.
I think HBO had something, or because...
Well, where is it now?
I don't know.
Jay, where is it now?
My pop-up used to watch boxing and westerns. That's it. Nothing else.
Oh, my God. You stole it out of my mouth. I was going to go to westerns next.
But, by the way, he never cared about news. His unstereotypical old man never watched news, boxing, westerns.
How long did he live?
The news.
How long did he live?
Yeah. 90 years old.
Might be something to that.
Well,
avoid the news.
Back in the day, every Saturday afternoon on ABC, there was Wide World of Sports.
Yes.
There was professional bowling and then boxing, usually heavyweight fights every single Saturday. I remember growing up watching that with my dad almost every single week.
There's a lot of these sports now. Man, Jay, you're nailing all of the little things for me to jump onto next. I was saving this for another time, but Tom, you can clown me, but I'm absolutely addicted. My latest video game is not Cyberpunk 2077. It's not Assassin's Creed. It is PBA, officially licensed Xbox Online Bowling. And it is amazing because, Jay, I can put on any music I want in the background. I can customize my bowler. I get sponsorships from the real sponsors. I'm going up against the real bowlers, and I'm playing. It's awesome.
Yeah, you're going to go against Pete Weber. You're going to go Jason Belmonte. All these guys. I had that
Troop.
exact same game on my phone.
Yeah,
and
Kyle Troop's
got the guy with the mohawk.
Yeah, the guy. Well, he's now he
fro.
has a big afro. Yeah. Kyle Troop. He's amazing. But anyway, we're here to talk about boxing and your event.
Well,
so how does one wander into the boxing
ring announcer
world?
Well, this is what I wanted to talk to Jay about because of course I told Jay, he's like, hey, I got this event I want to promote. I'm like, let's do a Weird Job Wednesday because I got a lot to discuss with you about ring announcing, right? Because for a long time on this show I've been bitching about Michael Buffer and the fact that he's made how much? Let's look up his net worth again
Oh,
because this is
man.
the most.
I've got to guess 20 mil. That's my guess on his net worth.
What are
easily.
you?
I think it's
Hold
more
on, are you
than-
joking?
I think it's way
Jay,
more than that, Jay.
How are you a ring announcer and don't know the absurd amount of money that Michael Buffer, Bruce Buffer's his brother or Bruce Buffer?
Yeah.
Oh, Bruce is worth probably 10 himself.
Bruce is Michael's the more famous one, right?
I
He's the
believe so.
OG,
Yeah,
and then Bruce
Michael's
is the
the-
MMA, right?
How much
Michael's-
do you think his net worth is?
We've looked this up. I know, but Jay guessed 20 million. That's absurd, Jay. That's so little. You think that wouldn't make me as angry?
Yeah.
Samantha?
You're low, Jay.
Oh.
400 million. 400
Michael Buffer is
man.
worth 400
Jay
million.
looks really sad right now.
So this is this has always
Well,
been my
he
argument.
trademarked his saying. Bruce Buffer worth 10 million.
Yes. So Michael
That's fine.
Michael Buffer trademarked "Let's Get Ready to Rumble"
Yes.
and then got paid gigantic money during the height of boxing to say that in these huge boxing events, the Mike Tyson, the Evander Holyfield, like
Yeah.
these gigantic pay-per-view events. And they would have to pay him because he was the guy that everybody expected to be the ring announcer.
Were you
But it
ever
was
a
too
mark?
much.
Were you ever a mark for the Mills Lane? Like, let's get it on. That one. I liked the little "Let's get it on" better than "Let's get ready
Yes.
to rumble."
My
Plus,
argument.
he looked like Popeye, which I thought was a cool thing.
So, and Jay, you could weigh in on this. I mean, I'm interested to hear your opinion because you're an actual ring announcer, so you may be sticking up for Michael Buffer. But my argument was his price got to such a point where you're paying this guy $10 million or whatever. Like, you could probably look up his highest paid event, but I think one of his events, like the biggest pay-per-view in the 90s or something, he got paid like some absurd amount of millions of dollars.
What's an absurd amount? Double millions?
No, but anything over six figures to me is absurd.
Yeah, I
to
think
get
a
in there,
million is absurd.
yeah, to get in there and just announce two boxers and say, "Let's get ready to rumble." That's it. That's
But
all you
now-
got.
now let me- hold
How
on.
much is that adding to the event?
Let me calm you a little bit, and then I'm gonna
Damn, Tom, my God, I'm the one that should be mad, not you.
Jay,
No.
I'm gonna calm Tom, and then I'm gonna dovetail directly into you. Now, Jay and I had a similar discussion when he was doing our event, our 90s event, our 9-year event downtown, right?
Yeah.
And when he was working the event, though, one of the things that I noticed, and I would like to factor this in for a Michael or Bruce Buffer, is that Jay took it extremely seriously, and it was up to him to go around to each of our talent, our entertainment, our wrestlers, and find out origin story, do's, don'ts,
Yeah.
what they're comfortable with, that kind of stuff. It was a decent amount of work, and nice that I didn't have to do anything.
Okay. Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
hold on. You look like you're about to punch me in the face. My point is, I don't think that Bruce and Michael Buffer work as hard as Jay. That's my point.
Well-
Jay was working his ass off for us for nothing.
But even if they did, and part of that job and that pay was making sure the pronunciation of all the
I
fighters
think
was
he
right,
has a guy that
and-
that writes that for him.
or maybe double checking so he doesn't.
Jay was
make
a
sure.
one-man announcing machine.
All I'm saying is that everybody who bought that pay-per-view event, if they didn't have Michael Buffer saying, "Let's get ready to rumble," how much would they be disappointed that they didn't get their money's worth? My argument is it's got to be less than $1 million worth of disappointment. Like I feel like any standard announcer could have done that, and maybe they didn't say "Let's get ready to rumble." They just said, "Let's start the fight" or whatever. Like how much worse? It could have
I'm still in that.
It's how much worse could it be, really? Like if someone just a well-spoken announcer, which I assume
You
is a
should do it.
dynamo.
You should jump in there and just turn
Daniel
it
could
on.
do it.
Let's get out of here.
If Daniel did it instead of Michael Buffer, I'm saying your overall experience would be maybe a fraction less, but basically the exact same, as long as he didn't F up the actual fighters' names and got everything.
Okay.
What
say you, Jay?
Yeah, what do you think? Like this talent, do you think it's worth that much?
This is going to be a bold statement in my opinion, but I think Michael Buffer is a talentless hack.
All right.
Hot take.
Wow,
I don't
went the
see
way
it.
I didn't think you would go that direction. My God, I totally got you got me.
Because I will give
It's jealousy, a 150% jealousy in a way. I'm not going to BS anybody about that. But now going back to Tom's thing with, is it worth it? When you've got a multi-billion-dollar production company for boxing, say a Top Rank Boxing or Don King Promotions.
Sure.
Back in the 90s when Don King was the end-all, be-all for everything boxing. it's worth that million and a half to bring Buffer in because it's a prestige thing. So you bring in Michael Buffer, that makes it gives legitimacy to your entire production. He's not just doing the main event, he's doing the whole card. Maybe 10 fights. I mean, so it's $100,000 a fight. That's impressive. But at the same time, it's really more of a prestige thing for the promotion. It's almost not even for the fans at that point, in my opinion.
Okay, so it's kind of like a flaunt of like, hey, we paid Michael Buffer an insane amount to do this, and it's kind of like putting diamonds on your brand new Rolex.
On the
like
bezel,
you're like, I'm changed. Like, he's like, I have so much money, I'm ruining this watch basically by putting expensive diamonds on
Okay,
it.
to put it in perspective with what Jay's saying, is there anything that we've ever added on to one of our events that wasn't something that was necessary for our listeners or our BDM subscribers, but you added it on as sort of a, quote, Michael Buffer of the event?
Not to that, because the Michael Buffer, and I think
it's an absorbent amount of money, man.
So much. All I was saying is basically like, I think you could find a pro ring announcer and pay him 10 grand a fight and get the same quality.
Okay, well, let's jump off of money.
But I see what you're saying, Jay.
Let's get off of money
What do
for
you mean
just
10 grand?
for just a second. Like Tom and I have announced things before. We've hosted things before, but not
horrible.
But yeah, it is horrible. But nothing like what you do. How does one go about, I guess, breaking into it, and how do you practice doing it? Because it's one of those things that when you're practicing it, if other people hear you, you do sound sort of like a weirdo because it is so rare and it's a very unique thing to do, right?
Well, I broke into the wrestling business. I started doing wrestling when I was 17. I'm almost 45 now, so 28 years I've been in the business.
Wow.
It's and it just I happen to know somebody who knew somebody, and that's really how you get into the wrestling business most of the time. Not at a wrestler capacity.
Sure.
The wrestlers can go to school to learn how to wrestle. There's no ring announcer school. That pretty much isn't in. I mean, I went to college for communications, but I was still in high school when I first started ring announcing. So I was 17 doing indie shows up in New Hampshire in front of 100, 200 people.
That's cool, though.
Did that for a long, long time. And then I got hooked up with an MMA company, I think in 2002 up in Massachusetts. And that was the first quote unquote legitimate sport that I had been a ring announcer for. Did that for a while, then moved down to Florida in 2006 and did more crappy wrestling in parking lots of bars in front of 18 people with the ring breaks. And it's just terrible stuff, like stuff out here in Lake County.
Yeah,
So
I bet you've seen some stuff. I mean,
Do you question why you're even announcing the fight?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I have quit in my head. I've quit 20 times.
I like that.
Then I get an email. Hey, you available this Saturday to announce a show? I'm like, yeah.
Pull you back in. What is the strangest? Have you seen? Like, give me something strange that maybe you've seen in your, in your more grittier wrestling announcing days.
Well, besides me wrestling the same night that I actually ring announced.
Oh, that's okay. Tell me about that.
It was 2005. I was working for WFA for a good friend of mine, Steve Bradley. And I told him, hey, I'm moving to Florida. And he goes, well, we need to explain why you're going to be gone because I've been the ring announcer for 3.5 years for this one company. So we had another kid named George who filled in when I wasn't there. So they had to explain why I was leaving. So we had a loser leaves town street fight.
I love it.
I got put through a table.
Yeah.
Hit with a cookie sheet, broke a crutch over the other kid's back. It was the worst match in the history of the business.
But you got to do it.
Do the cookie sheet before the table, because then
Yeah.
once you do the table, then you go do the cookie
Yeah,
sheet. It's
step
like,
down.
I always get the order
Cookie
mixed
sheet.
up. It's like
who
kendo,
has a cookie sheet?
kendo stick, which by the way is nothing but a wire whisk that somebody put a rubber band around the top of it so you can hit somebody's back and it makes a loud noise.
Who brought the cookie sheet to this fight? Who?
Well, that's a wrestling weapon that's always been used.
I know,
for
I know,
junk
Jay.
like that.
I mean, you-
I'm making a joke,
Where
Jay.
did the crutch come from?
You
Get
want to
the
kill
picture.
the guy, but you don't want to kill him like with a gun. You want to use like weird things like cookie sheets and crutches and kendo
And it doesn't
sticks.
hurt at all. The cookie sheet just bends over your head. You don't even feel
Yeah,
it.
it looks
Jay,
cool.
so in the ring announcer world, okay, because everybody that I've heard seems to have adopted kind of the Michael Buffer style, and maybe he just stole that from ring announcers beforehand. I don't know if you know the history of ring announcers, but did they always have that long sing-songy way of announcing? Yeah. Standing at 162 pounds, like that whole long sing-song. Is that a style that everybody does, or does every ring announcer have their little specific styles?
And in this corner, weighing 185 pounds in the red corner, Thomas Oral B. Van.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
How does that work?
Your nickname is Oral B.
It all depends on really who your influences were. If you've got, like, my influence, Dan will know exactly who this is Howard Finkel.
Finkel's the best.
Rest in peace. My hero, my idol is
Ray
Howard
Finkel, the kicker from Ace Ventura.
No, Psychoville.
No, I everything that I did when I first started was basically based off of his inflections, based off of how he announced things, when a title would change and that whole thing. I based all of my inflections and things like that off of the Fink, 100%. I don't do the super long, drawn out Michael Buffer, draw out every single syllable. It all depends on the name, how many syllables there are in the name. If it's a single syllable last name, you can either just hit it hard.
Do you do the double last name where you do you go, Thomas Spicy Chicken Nuggets Van?
Yeah, the double.
I like the double.
I thought about that. I thought about it, but I never really adopted it. I was like, it's kind of hokey, old-timey stuff to me.
I kind of like the classic stuff, I also, what's weird is I used to not like the microphone coming to the ceiling.
Oh, it's my dream.
When I would see it, I'd be like, who the hell do you think you are? Seriously, look at this mother.
Yeah, you get a microphone just lowered down from the ceiling.
And Jesus brings your mic to you.
Yeah, they use wireless mic.
Go look at old Madison Square Garden WWF shows from the early 80s. That big double microphone with a 3-foot wide MXG on it would fall from the ceiling, and Howard Finkel would grab it and announce Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Finkel, man, I haven't heard that name in forever. So how do you're in it, you're doing it, you're working your way up. I mean, obviously, it's like anything else. It's time spent. Pay your dues, get your reps in.
How does a ring announcer actually get his big break? Is that even exist, or do they just use the standard forever?
It's just getting seen. You do as many shows, you do as many quality shows as you can, because you got to look at quality over quantity. I could do every single wrestling show in Florida, but they're all just flea market garbage. I mean, it's all terrible. That's why I really kind of pulled back from doing wrestling, because it's mostly terrible down here. There are some pretty good shows that are around, and I've worked for some pretty good companies down here.
But the flea market garbage is so fun to look at.
I love
it. That's where the entertainment's at. Is the no one's there, the no one's getting paid.
And performing with a horrible toothache, it's Dondi, the elephant.
Anyway, Jay, how can people see you this week? Because we got to go.
Yeah.
And
how much money can you make? The answer's zero. Right?
Yeah. What's their biggest payday?
I do get paid. I get paid. I've actually been flown to Memphis for a show.
Memphis.
How dare you?
Yeah, big time, huh? Memphis.
We're going to fly you to Memphis. Coach.
I got to meet Jerry the King Lawler, though, so that was pretty cool.
Oh, Jerry the King.
He was at the show.
I love Jerry the King, but I liked him when he was all about the puppies and Kat, his ex-wife, who left him, gutted him.
We don't talk about
it. They gutted the King.
Florida trash.
Don't talk about it.
Florida trash. I'm sorry, wrestling. It's all Florida trash.
I mean, you flew to Memphis to meet a man who has a tanning bed and still wears a crown at 70.
Yeah, and owns a terrible restaurant on Beale Street, too. But no, it was a pro boxing event. They flew me up for it. It was a horrible, awful experience. The promoter was a swindler and a pile of crap. Took me a month to get paid. It was fun. That was the last time I do that.
This is like one of my favorite Weird Joe Wednesdays ever.
It's all swindlers and
Yeah.
wrestling.
And
trash.
he sounds like us. It sounds like a lot like podcasting.
Yeah. You know what, Jay? You picked the worst possible job. I'm going to announce events filled with trash.
I know what these trash people
I
need.
don't do
Somebody to
wrestling
yell what they're
anymore.
doing.
It's fine. I'm into legitimate sports now.
I'm sorry.
MMA and boxing. But this Saturday, will be the exact opposite of what I have been describing. It's at the Caribe Royale Resort in Orlando, right there on World Drive. It's Undisputed Promotions.
That's awesome.
Like I said, a lot of great local fighters will be on this. A lot of nationally recognized fighters, guys you've seen on ESPN.
And a lot of
you've seen
pro
on
debuts,
FS1.
you said, right? Like a lot of guys
Lot of-
making their debut.
Exactly. It's a great place. It's Undisputed Promotion. Anthony Arvello Jr. is an unbelievable promoter. He does a fantastic job. These shows are super professional. They look fantastic. And if you can't make it out there, it'll be available on the Fight app. That's FITE. And you go on the Fight app. It's going to be $19.99. You can watch it. You can see my pretty face on there.
Oh, that's cool.
And you can check it out right there in the comfort of your own home. Tickets are still available for the event. It will be pretty packed, and it will most likely sell out like the last one did. And just go ahead and Google Undisputed Promotions tickets. Eventite.com is going to be the ticket purchasing website. Get your tickets right there. They start at $40. It's an awesome night of fights, and love if you guys came on out.
Cool.
Love
Thanks,
it,
Jay.
man.
I appreciate it. And we'll always be bonded by Blood Dog. That's a different story for a
Don't
different
talk
day.
about it another time.
We'll talk to you later, Jay.
See you, man.
Thanks, guys. Love you.
Yeah, be good, buddy. Love you too. That is our buddy Jay, live from appears outside of a school. He's ready to shoot it up crazy.
The improv.
Like, I don't know what's happening. He's state looked like a stereotypical brick school. He's at the first schoolhouse in America.
Bye-bye.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I am Daniel.
I'm Tom.
I really want you to say Thomas there. I was actually
Right.
considering going by my full name from now on. I just want everyone to start calling me Daniel Lee.
So we've got an event that's happening, and you can find out all the info at tomanddanlandcruise.com.
What is a land cruise?
Well, you could
Sounds stupid.
go to that website and see. BDMs get tickets first, and then everything opens up on Friday at noon for everybody else. So anyway, check out the website.
Yeah, and mild or wild, you snooze, you lose.
Hey, Tom and Dan, it's Zach from Ohio. I have never washed my car before. Now, do you think that there's a lot of people who haven't done that? Or is it just because I've driven a 2001 Honda Civic for like the past 10 years, and if I had some money in a nice car, I might actually wash it?
Okay, can I go first?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm itching to answer this. He says, are there a lot of people like me? He has never washed his car ever.
Mm-hmm.
I think the majority of people are like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sadly, I
Even-
feel like I am in
Now-
the minority. I'm going to say something that's going to make Tom's eyes roll like a slot machine and then freeze in a confused position. I wash my car on the same time every week.
Oh, yeah. Those are crazy. You know, like, that's what crazy people do. Like,
Every
like,
week.
Look at all my pee-pee jars. I'm like, all right, I know. You know, I don't need to see them. So
I didn't say sniff them. I just said look at them.
now, what Zach didn't say is like, I know he personally has never washed his car, but is he also saying he's never even gone through a drive-through wash or anything at all?
I think that's what he means.
Yeah, he
Like,
means this car.
This car's never been
Has
washed.
never been
I
washed.
took it to
Okay.
say that this whatever car, 2002, whatever he said,
Yeah,
Elantra, he's never washed it
yeah.
once, not
Yeah.
even once.
I like when I had my old truck and when back in the day when I had POS vehicles, I at least would take them through like a car wash every once in a while. Like I'd rarely do it by hand myself, but I would take them through the $7.
I feel like that's like the
Mr. Car
construction
Wash.
worker.
Yeah. Like because they would get so dusty that
Yeah.
it would be embarrassing, and then I go through the drive-through
I admire
$7
that.
car wash.
I wish I was that guy. Like I admire the guy when I see you driving and you're the construction worker. You know, you have a decent truck. It's got a few dents in it, but not because you don't take care of it. It's got dents in it because it's a work truck.
Yeah,
you use
utility,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. It's for, it's got a purpose. It's not like what I don't even need a car. I can walk to work.
Mm-hmm.
But I choose to be pampered like a veal and sit in an SUV and drive 15 feet to work every single day.
But also, it brings you joy to drive around in a clean car.
I do like things clean, yeah.
Which a lot of other people, like myself, I garner no joy or happiness driving around in a clean car.
If I'm driving in a dirty car and I've had a shower or my clothes are clean and my car that I'm sitting in now is dirty, it rattles me. Same thing with Ubers. If I'm going out and I get in your Uber and you drive a garbage car, it's crushing me inside because you're ruining my jeans. You're ruining my outfit. The fleas from your home, your bed bugs.
The smell.
Yeah, they're crawling in me, man. They're getting me. And you're listening to the best of Maroon 5, which apparently is all people that drive Ubers listen to.
Also, I have a problem where because of the damn oak trees above my house and all the trees, like, EMS.
Oh, all the pollen.
Yeah, Like,
I hate it.
EMS came, I don't know, a week ago and then washed and detailed our cars, and they do a great job, emsmobiledetailing.com. And I literally, 2 days later, Crystal walked out of the house and like, oh, man, your truck needs a car wash. And pollen. And then I was like, 2 days
just had one.
Just because it just like snow.
Even here.
Coated.
All the trees.
Yeah.
I don't get that problem because I have this thing in my house called a garage.
Yeah.
And I drive I
filled mine.
This will blow your
Mine's
mind.
full of grift truck.
If I hit a button, this door goes up like Batman, and I drive my car in, and I hit the same button, and the door goes down like Batman.
Where am I going to put all my garbage, Daniel? Where did I put that? Outside of the street?
No, you put it in the dumpster.
But this garbage has...
Let me clean your garage one weekend.
It's impossible.
If I went through your garage, and if you guys just... the shows where they say, but you got to let us do it. You got to give it... If you guys let me do that, how much stuff would I throw out that you guys would have to go and get it back?
Oh, no, well...
Everything?
My wife, yes. Me, I would never know the difference. You could throw away even my stuff that I use, and I'd just be like, all right.
That's how I'm becoming.
That you can throw away everything. But my wife, she's got to do what you do on like the hoarders where they have to like
sit with it.
They have to emotionally detach from every item.
Does this bring me joy?
You have to hand the broken cup to them, and then they have to look at it.
A lot of good plastic here. There's a lot of good plastic here.
And then they have to like part with it in some sort of like healthy manner. It's stupid.
Write a goodbye letter.
Hey, have you
and
ever...
she'll yell crow crazy if you try to throw away her stuff.
One of my favorite things to do while watching Hoarders, I love the before and after pictures, but I like the ones they put at the end because normally the episodes that I really gravitate to, the ones that I really get into are the ones where there's a goal, you don't think they're going to meet the goal, you think the health department's going to come back, the house is unlivable, they're going to clear it out again, but it doesn't happen. They do it. They get it done, they get it cleaned up, they get all this stuff out of there, and then they do the before and afters. And they're always showing the before and afters where it's like the before picture, you're like, oh my God. And then they pull back, and the after looks so much better. But the tile and the carpet, you can see where animals and things have expired. And then their organs had liquefied, and then they had basically evaporated in the house. And then there's no way you can remove that stain because... the cat that its organs and its liquefied organs became the carpet.
Yeah.
And
I still see it. And every time they do that and look at her now and they go after a photo and I go, ew, keep it before. At least the dead cat that was liquefied had a box on top of it. Yuck.
Yeah. The after pic, even then you're like, I'd never go into the house.
Yeah. Who got shot there? It looks like Lee Harvey Oswald's apartment. It's horrible.
I remember when I was a kid, one of our neighbors, we called her the flea lady because she lived 2 houses down.
She was a superhero.
And we called her the flea lady because...
Incredible back leg strength.
When we were kids and we walk up to the bus stop, we would have to walk on the other side of the street because if we walked in front of her... Because she had also... Like, she was a hoarder, but she also let her entire front yard turn into a jungle, too.
I love those.
Yeah. So everything was a
cars and
old
bikes and stuff.
A weed jungle, and then it got fleas. And then if we walked on that side of the road, we didn't have sidewalks. It's like old Florida, Miami. That fleas would jump on our socks. And
you got flea socks.
And then we'd have flea socks. And then so we'd have to literally walk on the other side of the street.
This is a new story, by the way.
Fleas. One time, my mom, I forgot why I went into her house.
I'm going to kill this flea bitch.
Wait a minute. You
Hold
went
my
into
cigarette.
Flea Lady's house?
Yes, because...
Hold my sun kissed. I'm going down there and giving her a piece of my mind.
I think her tiny dog or something or some
She's trying to lure you in.
something happened where I had to go into her house and then and I was a young
I
kid.
have Jolly Ranchers.
And I remember she was like the stereotypical like old witch lady. Like she was like she's standing on a barn with a staff.
It's
Oh
never
my God.
never a middle-aged, slightly hot MILF. It's always an old broom lady.
And so she's super nice, invited me in, but she had like,
She likes some moon pies and penny whistles.
it like her in her house. What the interesting part is the clean parts. She kept clean.
Yeah.
Like there was rows, like there's newspaper stacked up, and you had to walk sideways.
Well, you don't clean the dusty boxes. You only clean the living areas.
Yeah, so the floor that I was walking on, I noticed, I remember when I was a kid, that the floor was clean. Like she had just mopped this, 1 foot.
That's how I mop.
It was like
if any of
path.
Maisie's toys are in the kitchen when Andrea tells me to mop, I mop around the toys.
Yeah.
That's just for guys out there listening, that's a fun little
And
trick
there
you can do.
stacks of newspapers and Time magazines and stuff that I'd have to walk down and then the stereotypical garbage living room, garbage bedroom,
I like
garbage
the
kitchen,
paths.
and then the paths everywhere. And
It's more efficient to have a path.
and then she
You end up
had
making your house look like an underground anthill, right?
she had one seat that had no garbage, but
That's your smoking seat.
she had a smoking seat.
You gotta have look, I'm
And
gonna
her
become
kitchen.
this. I plan on
Yeah, yeah.
becoming this.
Yeah, so there was garbage piled
Oh,
on
yeah.
the glass, like the old Florida glass table in the kitchen.
Glass can hold a lot. It's so strong.
And then on all the entire kitchen, like counters, there was piles of she couldn't use her stove or anything.
No, you turn it on, you burn your bills.
But she had a smoking seat, and then I didn't go venture into her bedroom, but I could imagine there was
you
probably
wanted to, didn't you?
there was like a tiny sleep area carved out, and then
Sometimes they
poop
sleep on the
area.
trash.
Yeah.
It's remarkable how comfortable bills can be when you put a blanket on top of them.
Yeah, and then I told my mom, and then I think my stepdad
Set our house on fire.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Burned
he's
it down.
like, don't go over there. He was like, they were very angry that I went to. I forgot why I was there for.
Yeah.
I thought it was my mom sent me there, but it may have been some other.
I'm telling you, she
reason.
lured you in
Yeah.
somehow.
I
I
think
remember
maybe I was
being
trying to get something
creepy
from her
old lady.
backyard.
The stories that we were we were able to roam wherever we wanted to go, and I know you lived that kind of childhood.
Oh, yeah.
I'm assuming that Samantha lived sort of the same.
No,
Maybe no.
my dad was,
I
very
was-
strict.
We were able to roam. I remember riding our bikes
I
through
mean,
this.
if he was at work or something, we kind of did whatever we wanted. But
Yeah.
if Dad was there, you had to get permission to leave the yard.
Ah,
okay.
Yeah,
Sounds
I
like
ca-
prison. You know?
Yes, exactly.
The yard.
You also couldn't go inside either.
No.
So you just had to sit in the yard.
I was the same way as Daniel. We just go. I remember we would climb on abandoned houses,
Yeah.
roofs, like even houses
Yeah.
for sale. Like the house is for sale. Let's climb on a
Water
roof.
towers. We climb up on the roof of Winn-Dixie and sit up there, throw rocks down.
There was a stereotypical forest that a bum lived in that had the porno mags laying around.
Well, you find whatever you find what you think is his most prized possession, and you try to destroy it. Because that's what children do to homeless people, which is horrible.
Yeah.
I don't know why
His
they
box
do.
of trinkets.
Yeah, I don't know. He's got one picture of his ex-wife and his severe mental illness. He's clinging to one thing that he loves. It's the only
Like Tom Hanks
shred
for
of
Castaway.
Yeah, it's one shred of positivity, and you go in there, and what do? You wipe boogers on his picture of his wife. Because you're a terrible person.
Then you stomp it, and then you write.
Why do you do that?
You write the F word. And,
Kids are terrible.
Kids are terrible.
Yeah.
You do. Yeah, you cross her eyes out with a Sharpie. Why would you do that? It's the guy's wife. It's the only thing he loves.
You're like, pull down his camp.
Yeah, exactly.
Then kick over his pots.
What's that? A stuffed animal that probably belonged to his kid? Pee on it. Like, why do you do that?
'Cause
What's wrong with you?
Yeah,
This is what's wrong
Terrible.
because the internet is that now.
The internet is just, but actually the internet is better because it's just digital
virtual
version.
peeing.
Yeah, it's virtual.
Like, I got his virtual teddy bear. Virtually pee on it.
Yeah, but that's better though. We actually ruined this homeless guy's possessions, and it's all he had.
I know.
And then we tore up his love letters.
Oh yeah.
We-
Oh man.
We kicked over all
Tore
the
up his
decorations.
love letter's the worst thing you've ever said. You can imagine these punk ass little Miami syndrome, terrible little punk rock kids with their bleach blonde hair. They're just smoking cigarettes and drinking beer.
I found his letters from the war.
he wrote some letters and they're returned to sender. He's just professing his
The
love.
Notebook all over
Wipe
again.
your butt with them. Why? Why are you doing this?
Oh, and then we were like, if he ever found out, he'll kill us. But I think that's why, because we wanted the excitement of knowing
Rebels.
that this guy, this crazy
But he
old
won't
man
kill
would.
you. He won't kill you. He'll just break down and cry.
I don't know. He could kill. I mean, he'll have a crazy flashback.
No, he doesn't
and
have the strength to
he'll
kill
stomp
you.
a-
He doesn't
Well,
have
we're
the
just-
strength to kill you.
Yeah, well,
He's only surviving on rainwater and a couple of Cheez-Its he found.
yeah, you're right. He is.
He's amazing. You're pushing him over.
Yeah, he is disabled. Yeah, we do. We kill
What did you
him.
do with my letters?
Yeah, then we push him down and start kicking him in a group.
Well, wait a minute. This
then
would be
we're
a great
gummo.
movie. Hold on. This would be a great movie, right? So this is an old man, right? Hold on. This is a homeless guy, and these kids are being rude. This is like we're gonna write a new thing called
God, now
Old
I'm
Homeless
embarrassed.
John Wick.
Mo's here.
listening.
Wait, Mo is here?
We gotta get
While
out
I'm
of here.
spinning this crazy tale?
You keep going though.
Okay. It's just that easy to change my mind. So this homeless guy, right? These kids are like picking on him, and they're like young teens, and they think he's really old, but he's not really old. He's
He just looks old.
yeah, he
man.
just looks old because he lived a rough life. He's ex FBI or CIA, and then he
got thrown out because drinking on the job
he
or
saves
something.
himself, and then he vows that when these young men turn 18, he will come back and teach them a
Yes.
lesson.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Not
He
necessarily.
waits.
It's not a murder movie, but it's more of a like Saw meets like military
Destination,
operative meets Final Destination meets homeless guy
Meets Home Alone.
meets Home Alone.
Because he uses a series
Bingo,
of
bango,
traps.
bongo.
And then because Butler wants writing credit, meets a little bit of Showgirls because he's got some songs he wants to put in there, and he wants some boobs.
The only problem is that the first paint can that swings, it just kills the team.
Yeah.
It's because there's like, you hit him with a full paint can,
Oh my
that
God!
just kills
It's
him.
supposed to be an empty paint can.
Like he has brain damage, you kill him, he's dead. He's having a seizure.
Yeah.
Like all the things that would have killed you in Home Alone, it just
Yeah.
killed the teens.
And then
It's
he
like
looks
a
at him and
gruesome-
he's like, "Stop having a seizure, you filthy animal."
Oh, Mo heard that one.
Yeah,
That
I
was-
heard him. I can hear him breathing. Mo doesn't know we have our couch mic'd up, so I can hear everything our guests are doing out there. I like to,
It's
I like
crazy
to be
down
prepared.
here.
I like to be able to. I'm so convinced that people are talking about me at all times that I have microphones
mics,
everywhere
yeah.
so I can hear every conversation.
I worry about that sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, can Daniel hear us? I don't. Let's go.
Oh,
somewhere.
when you guys are there talking ass? Oh, I can hear everything you say.
Yeah.
You're
Or
like,
even-
he's or when I'm peeing and you're like, I don't think he washed his hands. I hear them.
Yeah. Even when I come in
And
here
I
by
didn't.
myself, and then if I'm with anybody, I'm like, watch out, Daniel's listening.
No, I don't listen, but I can look on the camera.
Oh yeah, I
And
know
I
you're
look.
looking. Yeah,
I
yeah,
look
I know
every
you-
single time.
I tell my wife because sometimes she's like, "Hey, you want to fool around?" Like Daniel's watching.
like, "Who's
He's
here?"
watching right now.
I'm like, oh, she did fool around. Ah, he nixed it again. I'll get there one day. Then I exit out.
Bye bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha and Butler are here, and we have a very special guest who dropped by.
Yep. JustCallMo.com. We've got Mo DeWitt here in studio. How you doing, Mo?
Doing well. How you guys doing?
Good. Good.
Not bad.
So, Mo, I've been meaning to talk to you about your Facebook videos and where you get
boy.
some of the props because there was one of you dressed like Justin Timberlake.
That's your favorite.
And I thought to myself, I laughed because I thought it was a good idea and it'd get attention, and a lot of people were commenting. But then I thought, where do you get a Justin Timberlake
Denim suit.
Yeah, because it was exactly the same. I mean,
it was beautiful.
It was like the costume he wore or whatever, and I was like, "Where do you find that?"
I mean, you don't have one of those?
I don't even know where to like. Do I type in Justin Timberlake's costume from this music video?
Well, I
like
wouldn't
someone's
write
making?
all of that. That's a lot. I mean, you could type in. My wife does that
What
too.
does-
Whenever she's searching something on Google, she'll be like, "Directions to PDQ Colonial Drive," and I'm like, "No, just type PDQ Orlando." What are you doing?
She's going for the long tail search.
Well, because I wondered. Then I started to think.
Whoa, I can get the Britney denim dress for $300 on Etsy right now.
All right.
So is this
Maybe
something?
on something, Sam.
that
All
people
right.
like do aftermarket, like fans or whatever, Etsy, where someone finds a way to make their costume from a famous music
Are
video.
you
or whatever.
asking if this is allowed? Because
Well, no, I'm just asking if like
Where do you go
Yeah,
to get it?
if it's like a designer like name brand thing that he's wearing, then obviously you could just buy it off from whatever site or company that
Okay.
makes it. But then a lot of these people, these performers, have custom stuff that they literally make one-offs of.
well, they partner with big designers, and
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of times they work hand in hand.
And so, yeah, what is it, Mo? How do you
So
get
I
that?
mean, I'm sure when Justin had it done, it was some designer or something like that. But I mean, Sam just found it. It was Etsy, and the
pretty
person
easy.
makes. They make the Britney dress and the Justin dress, and I think they custom make it.
Yeah.
I mean, they.
To your dimensions.
Yeah.
Google's great.
Okay.
You should try it out.
Well, then
but
we
can
have
you-
our land cruise coming up, and
Yeah.
my dream, and I'm serious about this,
Yeah.
is to have an authentic Good Ship Lollipop Shirley Temple costume to wear.
I bet you can find it.
I think we can find it.
I want the wig with the ringlets, and I want to have the dress that I wear and the little hat, and I want to wear, and I want to hold a novelty jumbo lollipop. I think I think people would come out for that.
Can you go to Etsy and just request to your dimensions?
Mr. Etsy.
Yes.
I don't know.
There's
where it
different
is.
shops on
to
Etsy.
Well,
There's different sellers on Etsy.
I mean, this person did tell me they put a little note when they shipped me the Justin outfit or whatever you want to call it. And they said, "I can make anything. If you need anything else, let me know." So I think
Really?
Oh,
All right.
Nice.
You can make anything.
And so,
Can you make a fleshlight my wife can't find? Make that.
or that doesn't get mildew dots.
Yeah,
That
or
happened to
stinky.
mine.
Yeah. I mean-
and I think you're not supposed to put the plastic back on, as if you're trying to hide the
Not
fact that
when it's moist.
Oh,
You at least
man.
want to sun dry it first.
you can't
So
put it outside.
there is a shop on Etsy called Roleplay Couture, and they have all kinds of different celebrity
it's
outfits.
pronounced Randy Couture, and he's an MMA fighter, you idiot. You're so stupid.
Apologies.
And then what does it cost there? Like if you
Depends
want
what you want.
Like if I want an Eddie Murphy raw.
Yes, red
Alright,
leather,
let me try.
Red leather.
complete with kufi and blackface.
no, not that
That'll
part, no.
get people out to Dr. Phillips.
I'm just saying, like an Eddie Murphy leather suit. What do you
Coming
think?
to America outfit.
Yeah, like that's gonna be like $1,000,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Like $1,000
that would be
bucks.
good though.
Yeah.
You don't have to do leather though. You could do vinyl.
And what?
I can get it to you for $80 right now.
Really?
There you go.
Wow. Now,
A.D. Murphy.
Mo, we've talked about this before, and you know the legal side of things.
Does
so,
he? I don't know.
I play a lawyer on Facebook.
So, like,
I also want to talk about there's another lawyer in town now that's biting off of Mo's style.
I noticed that. Yeah.
He's starting to try and do these videos not as good.
Yeah,
oh, really?
Well, he doesn't have a
Oh.
bus decker. I mean,
Yeah.
That's right.
That's true. That's true. Get on the bus.
I think lawyers are like NFL coaches. They just all steal from each
Yeah.
other their plays, and then
That's a bumper sticker, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
So anyway, with copyright laws and things like that.
And we do have some questions from our Twitch chat
Okay,
room that
cool.
we'll get to after we ask yours.
So copyright laws. So with these one-off things and these small things, because you see it all the time, where you're like, well, that's got to be copyright infringement or whatever, like on Etsy or what? Is it?
Even like beer can labels now. A lot of the breweries are getting in trouble for stealing art and putting it on their beer cans.
Yes, I've heard of that.
But it's novelty.
But if it's
satire.
If it's so small, is it one of these things where most companies just look beyond it, or it's impossible to even catch because the internet is filled with the millions of stuff, and it's impossible. It's just too much.
So, I mean, I think it's actually the opposite, because if they don't try to enforce their trademark or their copyright, they can actually, there's an argument they can waive it. So they actually have to have these divisions that kind of go out there and send these cease and desist letters all the time, so that it doesn't become kind of in the public nomenclature, because it's just now out there and no one's ever enforced it.
Okay, so literally, if you don't enforce it, then it could actually be a thing where a judge is like, "Well, you didn't enforce it, so now it's a
up for
public
grabs,
use."
yeah.
Right. I mean, like, and you've seen like some terms like Xerox, kind of is interchangeable for copy, or Kleenex for facial tissue.
White Claw's become one of those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for hard seltzer, like, oh, you could give me a White Claw for every hard
man.
seltzer.
Right.
Yeah. That's actually a benefit, though. The White Claw, right?
Tom and Dan, put on some Tom and Dan for podcasts. I hear that all the time. You're like Tom and Dan. No. But you mean podcast?
I think Rogan got that one right.
We don't have anything like that.
Marin. Anyway, so interesting. And then most times they just send you a cease and desist.
And then you usually most people comply because they don't want to fight it. I mean, I had one with IKEA actually a long time ago where they were trying to tell this guy he couldn't use the color blue.
Wow, they own the color blue?
They tried to make the argument because the guy, he was in a similar field with a kitchen cabinet installation, and they wore blue shirts, and IKEA did not like that. And they sent him a cease and desist letter, and we had to go back and forth with some high-powered attorney in New York who was like, threatening him left and right, and
those Swedes,
eventually they backed down. But
the Swedes will get you.
Yeah, they will.
All for that poang money. You have a poang? Everyone has a poang.
What is that?
Raise your hand if you know what a poang is. It's the signature steam made chair from IKEA.
The little thing.
The one where they bend the wood with the steam, and it's very, fancy looking, made fresh out of Stockholm.
It's the one that's in the case, and it has a robot smushing it.
Yeah.
It's like, look how good this robot's been smushing it for 10 years.
This robot's butt's been smushing this chair for 25 years. You fat slobs can't be worse than him.
So, Mo, you always urge everybody to call you if they've been in an accident. And I thought to myself, like, is there any time where it's too soon to call you? Like, literally.
Well, before the accident.
You gotta wait.
What if I call
I'm about to slip and fall.
What if I call you and I'm like, I'm going to get in an accident?
Have you
It's
ever
happening.
had anybody get in an accident while they're talking to you? That'd be cool, right?
Not that
That'd be
I can
cool.
think of, but
Man, what are
But
the
what
odds?
if like their car's still smoking, their airbag just went off, their people are still screaming, and they're like,
My face is still melted.
I mean, I've had people call from the accident scene all the time because it usually takes like 4 hours for Florida Highway Patrol to get there.
Oh, yeah.
Take
Or
that,
the-
Florida Highway Patrol.
Or whoever it
Slow.
is. But yeah, they'll just be sitting there. They'll go, "Oh, you better do something." So I'll just call Mo.
When I get rear-ended,
Whoa! Mark that. No, we're gonna have a great best of reel this Christmas party.
do I immediately jump out of my car and then scream to the person that rear-ended me, "Stay right there! Scene of the crime! Scene of the crime!"
Do not flee.
And then start directing
Taser!
directing traffic around and blocking up.
Then you gotta yell,
Taser out!
All my doors open. Or
You
should
gotta
I
put out a flare.
oh, yeah,
Okay, the
5
first thing,
flares.
let's talk about what you do. Okay, you
shoot
just,
a flare. I got a gun.
Okay.
Flare gun.
You just had an accident. Let's go through the proper steps because we can actually do some good here for
Okay.
our listeners.
Yeah,
You get in an accident.
Mark this down for
So,
the public safety
write this down,
file.
Sam. First thing you do, you get out of your trunk screaming as loud as you can. You want to make yourself available. You want to make yourself as big. It's like a bear.
Yeah, like a bear's like-
Make yourself as large
Yeah.
as humanly possible. So you want to extend your arms and extend your legs.
Then you go running towards the person,
person.
that ran into you, right?
Screaming.
Bear-like fashion.
Loud,
Yeah,
and acting like a bear.
yeah, that will scare them into submission.
Then they'll get in their car. Then run back to your car and then get what appears to be a gun, but it's a flare gun, like Tom said. Shoot it into the air. That'll
went
call
well.
Mo.
like the bat signal. What if you had like some sort of custom firework flare?
Mo.
Just keep shooting them.
Pyro Spot should be able to get
He'll get
someone
the
else.
he must be at the potty.
Mo.
I'm sorry, Mo.
Oh,
So
man.
glad I stopped by.
I feel like this is your fault actually because what are some of the actual questions that Twitch has?
All right.
Scroll a little
I'm going
bit.
to scroll back up to, because our listeners are far better at this than we are. Here is a question for Mo from Mommy Cray Cray. My husband wants to quit his job with a marketing company and go back into business working for himself. Same line of work. He signed a non-compete when he was hired. What are the legal ramifications of him doing this? What should he do legally to protect himself or us? He wants to quit because of poor management. That's a great question. Thank you, Craig.
It is, and I mean, it's going to depend on the terms of the non-compete, but usually they have to be reasonable. There has to be a set period of time, usually a geographic region in them, So they can't just bar you forever from working in the field anywhere in the U.S.
Because we have non-competes here at T&D Media, and ours say you can never have a job again after this one. No
You have to be homeless.
For life.
Actually,
For life.
it says at the bottom.
And you have to leave us everything in your will to us.
It also says you'll never work in this town again.
Oh, yeah, right.
Which is why someone went back to the U.K. but-
That's what we.
Oh,
exactly.
oh, yeah.
You know the truth.
Yeah, this guy knows. This guy
You had to be told.
But he
listen
did
to the show.
compete. He did compete.
We wrote UK in there, but we were like, there's probably legally nothing we can do.
Yeah, international.
We put world.
Everyone was like, UK. I was like, where's that?
And we put space, too, just in case.
Just in case.
Travel off the Earth.
I mean,
We're like,
technically,
you can't
right
work
now,
anywhere.
even Samantha, by doing her shows, I don't know, it's shaky ground.
Yeah, we can sue at any time.
I don't know. I don't know what the legalities of that.
So every non-compete is different, right, Mo? It's like some are regional and some are based on the sales position. But there are we had to deal with this actually one time, but we may have had a similar conversation.
What happened?
Where there is some sort of, like when you mentioned being reasonable, like the judge has to deem the non-compete reasonable, and usually they side on the actual the side of the person, not the company, when it comes to like having the person make a living or whatever. Like
Right. I mean, there can be a period of like 6 months or a year, but it can't be like forever, like I said. And then also you have to be able to move geographic regions, because you wouldn't really be able to compete, or you wouldn't be competing with that person
If you're not in the market.
If you're not in the market,
Yeah.
exactly. So, it obviously depends on the industry, whether it's television or radio or something else.
And I bet the internet has gummed that up a lot too, because like you have a business on the internet, all of a sudden it's like, well, it's worldwide, everywhere.
Yeah.
It was like,
I get orders from every place
so it's
known
like,
to man.
who cares if I'm doing, like, let's say a podcast in Alaska? Yeah, it's 3,000 miles away from my non-compete, but it's literally up the same time, available for download anywhere in the world. So technically, it's the same thing as if I did it in Orlando.
Right.
That may have been an argument I had. One time to Mo 9 years ago.
Maybe I paid to have our servers switched to Atlanta. I don't know. They're,
Just because technicality, we're like,
things
it's
happen.
Atlanta.
I mean, the availability came up to have our servers based out of Atlanta. Why would I do that? I don't know.
The magic comes out of the machines in Atlanta.
Now, if you're guessing that my answer when asked would be that I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan, you are correct. That's the only excuse I could think of.
So, and that all gets probably decided by like case law, because there's things that have never been even decided because of technological advancement and stuff like that, where it's up to actual cases to determine where people go from there.
Yeah, I mean, someone has to bring a lawsuit. There'll be a case-by-case basis of a decision. And obviously with more stuff over the internet, then you get different cases that kind of talk about that stuff, and then you use that for further contracts and negotiations.
Here's an interesting one that I've never heard of. It's actually happening sort of kind of to me right now. I live in a townhome, but I believe this person, here. I do have a question. Landlord-tenant law. They've been making constant non-structural improvements to my building with little to no notice. Entry to unit with very little notice. Does this violate their duty to deliver quiet enjoyment? And if so, what is my recourse?
So
is this person is this a chain letter? I feel like
just let them do the roofing. Like, what are you going to be? You're
always this guy though. You
Karen
never complain.
complaining like this.
You never complain.
It says quiet enjoyment in my contract. I am not getting quiet enjoyment. Like,
no, but remember,
let them do the work.
Sam, were you on the show when I went to Disney out at the yacht club that time, and they were doing the drilling in the middle of the night?
I don't know.
And Tom and I disagreed, and it was every night I stayed there. I stayed there 3 nights. It was just like a little getaway.
They didn't tell you beforehand?
No.
Because I stayed out at one of the resorts at Disney, and they gave us a bunch of freebie stuff because they're like, hey, we are doing construction to this resort. So we kind of let that go.
They did nothing for me, but Tom's argument was no argument. He was like, nope, that's what it is. You can't say nothing. You have to just sit there, and they have to they can drill, and you were given the drilling, so you eat your white chocolate Mickey Mouse in your bed while you can't sleep, and you shut your mouth. He's like, you cannot complain.
I just don't like complaining.
He doesn't like it.
No.
So
all you do is complain.
I only like it to do it to you.
He likes it in the same space.
Yeah, doesn't like to complain to strangers.
I don't do it to anybody that's not important in my life. I only hurt the ones I love.
That's the nicest thing you've you've ever
The
said.
BDMs, I annoy them, my wife, you guys.
Okay.
But anybody that's actually harming me, I'll never complain.
So, so the structural changes, lots of noise, peace and quiet, or quiesce and piet.
Yes, quiesce and piet. So typically your lease dictates when they can come in, how much notice they have to give, unless it's an emergency. So usually that's a provision of your lease. The quiet enjoyment thing is more of a case-by-case scenario. I once had a case where the neighbor to this guy's house put a pool pump in so they could practice skiing in the pool.
What do you mean? You can do that?
Apparently. And
do you still have this guy's number?
I can look it
I
up.
want to do that.
I don't even know how you do that, but I'm intrigued.
Like like a pump that like was able to move the water faster, like the one of those swimming pools
Yeah,
that has
exactly.
a current.
Yeah, it had a current, and this is what he told me, that they were water skiing. They practiced water skiing on this thing, but it vibrated his entire house, and so he brought an action
is an
for
insane
nuisance
case,
against them.
Yeah, because to push that much water to get up on water skis would have to be a tremendous pump.
Of course it would vibrate your house. I mean, this thing is as big as Epcot. Like,
I mean, he sent me the pictures of it. It looked like something you'd see at like SeaWorld, like behind like one of the aquariums. Or
it was like a massive.
Hold on, wouldn't it be cheaper?
400-ton pump.
It'd be cheaper just live on a lake and have a boat, a ski boat. Just practice on a ski boat.
I mean, you can
even the nicest ski boat's $60,000.
Tom, when we were poor kids, man, we'd go to a lake and ski behind a John boat. It didn't matter. You can ski behind anything. Just how desperate are you?
But yeah. So yeah.
So, anyways, they eventually put soundproofing around it, but so it depends on how bad the noise is, and it's a subjective standard. It's going to go on a case by case basis. If it's really bad, then you'd want to bring it up to the landlord, and they'd have to either let you out of the lease or make accommodations for you to help with the noise.
Ooh, what about if...
Oh, Brock's saying he just wants to be able to deliver his Zoom presentations because this is where
he's working from home.
It comes into play. Yeah, he's working from home. He's trying to be as professional as humanly possible, but his home is an area where they're not really giving him accurate times to prepare to have a quiet space so he can do
work.
Business.
Your residential property is not zoned for commercial use. No,
but we're
no
under
case.
we're COVID times.
Right,
Judge Crawford.
you're
Now
with
we're
me.
You're not
evicting
the
him.
lawyer, Tom.
Pardon me,
know.
excuse me, Judge No Fun. My attorney Mo is here. He would like to argue on our behalf. Boy, I'd hate to get in front of you, man. Jeez Louise, grumpy ass.
Oh boy.
So what if you're renting a property, which is weird because your wife's a doctor?
Oh, you gave me
and
the wink. Are
get
you
paid
talking
for-
about the place where our... Okay.
I'm
We
just
have
saying-
a couple mistresses
I'm
that are
saying we
living
know-
above the studio.
No, let's just say you're a podcast salesman and you rent a property and you decide to put a bat house up on your property.
But it's got only frogs in it.
But you didn't ask your landlord.
Yeah, but it's attracting bats.
Yeah.
Crazy. Hey, could you, as a neighbor, make an argument like, hey...
Well, actually, it's attracting frogs. And
right.
guess what likes to eat frogs? Coyotes.
oh, yeah,
And
the
now
I
coyotes.
forgot about the coyotes.
This mother has, and I was going to throw the other
I
part
know
on
you
there,
were.
but I'm mad at this guy. He has over 60 to 65 coyotes that come behind his house every single
Trying to
night
eat his frogs.
and try to eat his frogs.
Can we get him evicted? That's all I'm asking. Is it
I
possible?
mean, I think, if you had that many coyotes, I'm going to assume they're pets. That seems like it's a violation of some sort of ordinance.
Well, he
Okay,
owns
yeah.
one coyote that he's been able to domesticate. It's a beautiful animal, but the other ones are wild.
Yeah. I bet you his coyote dog attracts the other
Dude, put
wild
the pieces
coyotes.
together.
Yeah.
And he's always out there nude. We've heard this before.
Yeah.
Butler likes to go out behind, and he's grilling in the nude. He's always got a towel
Oh,
on.
he's so tan.
So Mo, what is speaking of being nude? Are you allowed
Oh,
to
here
be
we go.
nude on
Rod
your
Nile,
on your
kinda?
property? But what if you have like a small fence or a chain link fence? And
Or what if you are at a townhouse and you're just sitting up on your balcony with no coverage at all?
yeah,
I do
yeah,
that.
Like,
happens.
Is it
That's
illegal? if your
They call
parent-
that the 5 o'clock shadow, if you know what I
if
mean.
your neighbors could like look out the window and see you, but you're on your own property? How does that work?
I think it's, again, whether you're actually, quote unquote, in public or not. So if you're in your backyard, but it's a chain link fence and you're walking around nude, obviously the public can see you.
Well, I don't put it through. I'm behind. I don't do like the pornos. I'm behind it.
Yeah.
But if they have to like look over a fence or if they're like kind of peering or whatever, then it probably is okay. So
What are you peering at?
the problem is if a cop comes by and they want to arrest you and they see you, they'll probably arrest you. And then you have to deal with it on the back end.
I know what that means.
Mark that. Mo's just joined our Christmas party.
What if my neighbor could see me through the slats?
Oh, yeah.
Because
there was an old radio guy in town that was,
Hey, what's up? It's Slats. You listen to the rock station.
because
Up next, 7 Dust gonna blow the grass out of your work boots.
sometimes when I'm in my patio, I do go into my hot tub nude, and I know my neighbor. If my neighbor's out there working
your
out or
hot tub
something,
is so that
He's
water,
not looking at you.
but you
that
can see me
water
through the
is
slats.
straight- that water must look like ramen.
Oh man, cloudy.
God.
The roof gets flooded and it pours right into my hot tub,
Oh,
and then
that's
I have to
great.
cycle the dirt out.
Yeah. So you get into your
It's like
dirt
tea.
hot tub nude.
Well, I have to cycle the dirt out, and all the leaves do that tannic thing like it does in the St. John.
And
where
then you soak in the tannic water.
it looks like Lipton iced tea in there.
And so you do the Nestea plunge.
But it's fine. I hold my bee tight. So nothing
gets in. I do that too.
It's watertight bee. Everybody
Yeah.
knows how to do it. You can't loosen your bee.
You got a watertight
And
bee,
the
Sam?
Nestea.
I'm not going to ask our guest because I know Tom's proud on that. But
I'm sorry.
I'll
Mo.
discuss some sexual harassment stuff with Mo after.
this is not sexual. I'm not.
Yeah.
Nobody
Oh,
said.
no!
You know what? You just
I'm
made it
glad
sexual.
I'm
You
glad
said
brought it
sexual. She flipped it on me. I said nothing sexual. I said watertight bee. She said sexual.
I'm glad you brought that up because
Cancel culture. Cancel her.
I was told, Mo,
Get her.
how true is this? That I was told when I first started radio as an intern by I think some program director, maybe Catherine Brown or someone.
Oh, blame it on her. She doesn't work there anymore. That's not fair.
But she told me as long as you say it on the air, then that's get out of jail free card. Nothing, everything you can say on the air is
'Cause it's
fine.
entertainment.
But yeah, because it's entertainment and it can be.
I'm going home to yell at my wife.
thrown out in
Said
the
it
court
on
of
the air.
law. But after, like, you can't say nothing in the office or off air because that can be held against you.
You can't say nothing in the office, Mo.
So how true is that, Mo?
I mean,
On the air?
That's an argument in court if someone brings a lawsuit, but
okay.
it's not foolproof.
Oh, I thought it was
Not an
written out.
airtight.
Airtight.
okay.
Hold on. That was last segment.
Oh, boy.
That's airtight B.
Yeah, so everything we said on the show
Comes
can
back
be,
to airtime.
can
Hold
be.
on a
Oh
second.
my God,
This is bad.
It's a lot. It's a lot, Mo.
I got a lot of erasing to do.
It's so much. We can't even
Have
begin
you
to
seen her
erase it.
TikTok?
Yeah. Oh, that's
I've
something
seen
different.
it. I have that same. We have one that just yells Mo on it.
That's how we.
So now Mo's
that's
involved.
a protection.
Oh boy.
Sorry, Mo. Anyway, if you are injured on the go, just call mo.com. And again, no matter if you get hit by a car or get in a car accident, what if it's your fault?
Just call Mo.
On the go.
Just call Mo.
On the go.
Just call Mo.com.
Need we say
Why'd you play it in front of Mo? Because I'm embarrassed
You know,
by that.
I didn't mean to hit that one. I meant to hit.
Oh, the good one?
the
The
little one, and I
professional?
hit the extended remix.
What if the accident's your fault and like you're plowing into the vegetable stand? You know, the old man.
Oh,
and
and you're watching that Italian man's mustache just be ripped off of his face as you launch him,
And
and
then
his
you're-
avocados are flying.
You're confused, so by the time your car actually comes to a stop,
Well, your wheels are still
Yeah,
spinning while your hand is on your head.
Your foot is still on the gas
Yeah.
pedal. Full RPMs. It's like
I know this is going to happen to me. I know at one point I'm going to be a little old man. I'm going to look exactly the same, just whiter. And a little old man, I'm going to be sitting in like a pile of bricks around a Pizza Hut that I just drove through. And there are bodies everywhere, Mo.
Yeah, but you're on top of the
Yeah.
table,
And
so your back wheels are still spinning.
And I'm like, I don't know what I don't. I'm so confused, Andrea.
The young teen comes running, rips open the door, and then like rips you out of the car because they're like, "What are you doing?
You killed everybody,
and then,
man.
And then you don't know.
You killed the whole buffet.
And you're like, I don't know what's happening. And then it's sad because he doesn't even know what's happened, and he just plows.
And then
through.
some kid that he's filming me, and he's like, "World star."
You don't want to hit that old man to call you, right? Like you want the people in the Pizza Hut.
I'm
to
like,
call
is
you.
this
I
Mo?
like that was the question. All that for that
We were
question.
actually trying to wrap it up, and then Tom went
Never
on his
wrap it
whole
up. Never wrap it up.
crazy
Condoms
fantasy.
suck. Never wrap it up.
That's our saying.
Oh boy! If you are at fault, you can still call me. I can give you some advice. But usually, your insurance company handles that.
Gotcha. All right, thanks, Mo. I appreciate it. And thank you again for sponsoring our event.
I don't know why.
Is he still?
We'll talk about that. Ryan Cabrera is going to be there this year.
Oh, yeah. He is engaged
That's right.
to Alexa Bliss.
Don't
Yeah.
know who
You know,
that is.
That was in my
Wrestler.
Who's Pork interview.
It's my daughter's favorite wrestler.
He was planning on doing another cruise.
Yes.
And I was like, why'd you do, like, you didn't learn after the first one? Why?
Yeah.
How could it be? How could he plan to do
Tell
another
me
one?
why.
Yeah,
Anyway,
don't know.
It's
Okay.
yeah. All right. Bye-bye.